Okay, here we go. Whiskey Encore after party. I'm the mash bill, Stan, as you know, all notice. Let's go ahead and see who's here already. Let's go with, let's see. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm a little trying to figure it. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, wow. Ben Demon Hunter, thanks for jumping over here. And let's see. It'll be a few seconds. Um, let's go ahead and there we go. That works out for me. All right. So, how's everybody doing? If anybody wanted to come over here and not jump in the other one with everybody else, that's cool. I don't fault anybody for wanting to just hang over with Cheech and stuff. That's cool with me. All right. So here we go. So I guess I need a pin. Let's see. Here we go. Invite. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit off today. Had a few. I've already had a few grams this evening. So let's see. JD Bourbon Approach. There you go. Thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and we'll paste that right there. There's your StreamYard link. Let me go ahead and we'll go ahead and pin that. Boom. Anybody wants to join, go ahead and jump on. We're here just to hang out for a little bit. It's what do you call it? Daylight savings time. So I guess I'm making up an hour. Had a couple drinks with Cheech and stuff. Let's see. Who we got here? Mr. Jiggs, nice to see you. JD Bourbon Approach, nice to see you, sir. Trish, maybe she can keep me in a.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? Hey, did you get my email earlier? Just want to make sure.
I did. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it. No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to apologize. I mean, I know I got stuff I got to get out, but like I said, I mean, you know what's going on, so I appreciate the fact that you're understanding. Let's see. So, Demon Hunter's like, oh, he's all sitting there and like, oh, Cheech is still doing a private chat.
Yeah, I'm trying to hear both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that.
I don't know how to mute like just one because I have my headphones on. So.
Hey, do what you got to do, Trish. Just, I mean, if you want to hang out over there, that's not an issue. If like I said, it's like what 3 people over here or something like that.
They're coming.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He's doing it right now.
So. Yeah. So like, I mean, I mean, everybody knows that there's been a few head bumping between me and what. I mean, I consider Bourbon one of my better friends and some of that, but he doesn't agree with some of the people that I'm friends with. But I can't just discard people because other people don't like him.
Oh.
So
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's basically what it comes down to. And, you know, I think that we've come to a point where I understand where he's coming from. At the same time, you know, I'm going to do what I do. Tony Two-Toes.
What's up?
Not much. What's going on, man? Hey, so you've been gone for a while.
Yeah,
for a little bit. Anything that I mean, it's your own business and everything else, but I was just wondering, you know, is everything cool? I mean, you okay? Everything going all right on your side, or?
I'm fine. Things are rocky for sure. I mean, life sucks in general, so kind of just working through it. That's about all.
Okay, well, you just remember that if you need to get in touch, if you need somebody just to bullshit with or whatever, just holler. I'm here. I'm here for you, just like everybody else in the community is here for you. If you need to talk to somebody, or if you just need some help with something or whatever.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
You've always been a really cool guy in chat, cool guy on live. Always been really supportive of myself and a lot of other people. So, like I said, we got your back. So if you need anything, just reach out to whoever, whether it be me or whoever you got to reach out to. We got you. So
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a few weeks.
yeah.
Well, kind of do that right now. Trying to get the love from the community.
Yeah.
Be here and be present, and live in the moment.
Yeah, we love you. Oh, and then Mr. Jake says, "Hola, Mr. Two Toes." And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Seke. So I'm gonna add him to the stream, but he has no camera.
Yeah, I got a camera. I'm just naked.
Thank you for sparing my eyes.
All right, Jason.
You're welcome.
And then we'll bring in Jeffrey Wack. Hey, thanks a lot, Jeffrey. I appreciate the fact that you jumped over here, especially since I know that you're in Central Time zones. That puts you at like who what knows what time it is right now.
Are you in Central too, Jeffrey?
No, I'm Eastern. I don't have.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, because you're in Ohio, right?
Well, see, I get it confused because I've always considered like when somebody says the Midwest, right, or they say the middle of the country, I've always considered things like Ohio, like Cincinnati and Cleveland, and like Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, to be the center of the country. Because if you look at the freaking country, it's the goddamn center of the country, but they're like on East Coast time, so it throws me off because I'm trying to figure out who lives in what time zone. And mountain's really easy because I used to live in Colorado, so I can get all.
Why is your camera stuck, Stanley?
Is it?
Yeah, I've been thinking that too. I'm like, am I the only one moving?
No, I'm making sure that we're.
I was right about to ask that actually.
Oh no! Thank you for asking. I didn't notice because I'm freaking hammered. So, all right, there you go. But yeah, sometime. I mean, after I've been using this M50 for a year now, and it's my exclusive for a year and a half now. It's my exclusive camera in the studio.
Yeah, I was gonna get one, but they said for streaming it's not that good. So
I've been using mine for a year and a half, and just recently it's gotten to that point where it's like at an hour or so, or when it gets
like overheats, right?
When it's not right now, it's not technically overheating, but for some reason when it gets to a certain point in time, it just wants to freeze up. I have an RP, but I just haven't set it up to take over the stream and everything else. I use that as my B-roll / freaking just taking photos camera. And then I have a Canon T7i that I also use for taking pictures and doing B-roll stuff. So it's I kind of like, this has been something that's been really good for me and with the lens I have. So I just leave it.
Is Cheech not back there?
Let's see.
Because he left like before everybody else. So just want to make sure.
Well, no, there's nobody in the background. Jason's no cameraing in the background because he's naked. But
I'm actually gonna dip for like two minutes. I'll be right back.
Hey, do what you gotta do, man.
Tony's gonna get naked too.
Yeah, please don't.
I'll lather myself in butter.
I know it's late, but.
So Trish, I got a question for you. So Leon, he goes to bed, pretty early, or he sleeps on the couch, or whatever the situation is.
No, he doesn't sleep on the couch.
I know it's a running joke. It's just funny to say he sleeps on the couch. But I know that you presently had gotten away from what your career was and decided to take a break from it and everything else. But are you normally like a person who just can't sleep normally at night and you're just up until?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, my sleep schedule is totally different now because I don't work, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Because the only reason
I stay up and then I sleep till like noon. So.
Okay, because the only reason I
get like 10 hours sleep.
Yeah, because the only reason I ask is because so at one point in time in my life, my mother, she decided that she didn't need to be up during normal hours, and she literally lives to stay up until 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, then go to sleep, and then wake up at like 11 or 12 in the morning.
Yeah, but
like
well, here's the difference though. How old were you? Like my kids are 24 and 21. So
oh no, we were all out of the house. My
okay.
mom made this decision after everybody had left.
I was like, I was a very good mother.
Oh no, my mom didn't do this until my youngest brother, he's now 40, and he's been out of the house since he was 18. So it wasn't until after that she had started doing this. Because she always had a kid, some sort of kid she had to get to school or whatever.
Yeah.
But once everybody left the house, she was like, wait a second, I can stay up till whatever time I want to. And I can watch all these old ass shows that nobody else wants to watch with me. And then I can stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I can just sleep till 11, and then nobody knows the difference. I mean,
as long as I get what I need to do, like done in the day, I'm good. So it doesn't matter,
all right. So I do have somebody else in the background that I'm actually.
But it's not insomnia. I just stay up.
I have somebody in the background that's actually kind of. It's good. It's kind of exciting to me because I haven't seen him in a while, and I'm gonna bring him in. Some people might know him from his old channel, but now he's with A Dram Divided. There we go. Good morning, sir.
Frederick.
Good morning.
Hey, Frederick.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing?
All right, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. Just woke up. So I'm doing good.
There you go. So then,
No complaining.
Yeah, it's good to see that there's so we got Top Shelf Dustin over here, and then Mr. Jigs, Deathless Dogs, Mr. Steve Burkow, Whiskey A joined in. So thank you guys. If you guys want to jump on live, just go ahead and jump in the chat there. So, sir, how are you doing on the other side of the world from me right now?
Yeah, just woke up, like I said, so everything's good. Have a good night's sleep. That's the best, I guess.
So it's coffee time right now?
Tea, always tea. Junior tea with honey.
Oh, I'm sorry, tea. Excuse me.
Tea with honey. It's important to start today. No, it's all good. I hope it's all well with you and everyone else here, actually.
Yeah. And I hope that everybody's having a good weekend also. This is actually the first weekend I've had off. Actually, because I usually work Saturdays 8 to 10 hours, but my boss decided it was nice enough to tell me to not come in today. So, and now Big Vic,
What's
my
up,
other
brother?
my other SoCal buddy.
Hey, Vic.
Good to see you, brother. Hey, I was surprised I didn't see Joe anywhere tonight, but I'm sure that he's probably in Central Valley at a concert with his kid or something.
He's going to Central Valley because he's taking off to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so he's leaving tomorrow for Oklahoma?
Yeah, they need to get their sleep. It's a long drive.
Yeah, so anybody who doesn't know that might be in here, so Joe had.
I'm not alone. I got somebody with me right here.
Uh-oh.
My
Who you get?
cousin.
What's up,
Hi,
man?
cousin.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Are you introducing him to the world of bourbon, or?
Oh, he's seen me. Yeah, he has a couple tonight. They're watching the fight and all that.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, who ended up winning that final? That Usman Covington. I'm not gonna. I mean,
Don't tell people.
Usman?
People might not.
well, it's already
I just
over.
said
If
it.
anybody's gonna find out, it's gonna be because they're
Oh.
watching the replay, or they've already
Usman.
they already know.
Usman won.
Because that's kind of like all that was left was the Covington Usman fight. For anybody that happened to watch it or anything else like that, but I didn't get to see it.
The Canelo
So-
fight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch the replay on it, but I don't. I mean, to me, there's such thing as spoilers because in UFC or in boxing, there's a reason why the fight ended. So that's what I'm gonna watch is the reason why the fight ended, and if it was a good fight, because UFC is really, I mean, if someone goes five rounds and they win the fight, there's a reason they won, and I want to see how they won. So. it's not really that big a deal to know who won from whatever the situation was. But Ben Demon Hunter, good night, sir. So, what are you drinking, Big Vic?
Bro, really?
Red Solo.
Like
He
really,
doesn't
bro?
know because Stanley hasn't been on in a while.
He knows.
Well, I mean, okay, I am from Southern California, and I knew that Big Vic loves the freaking Red Solo cup. But at the same time, I was just asking him what he was drinking as to find out what he was actually drinking.
I'm actually having A120 old fashioned Larson.
Oh.
You do love the old fashioned, don't you?
I love old fashioned, bro.
Yeah. What's not to love?
Well, no, but he's like the professional of the old fashioned. He's like the if you're sitting there at home, he's like, you know what, I've got 200 bottles. Okay, which one do I want to make an old fashioned tonight? I'm gonna go ahead and send an email to Big Vic and say, hey, if I want to use Wild Turkey 13 Father and Son for an old fashioned, what's your recommendation? Yeah, so what's your recommendation? Then he's going to be like,
Yep.
you know, he's going to have okay, you want these bitters, you want this amount of this, you want this amount of that, boom, 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 that's your old fashioned. So
yeah, we just killed Buffalo Trace doing old fashioned.
Yeah, but those don't stand up. It has to be over 100 proof for me if I do an old fashioned. I want to like taste my whiskey.
So are we looking at? I mean, so when you make an old fashioned,
Well, it depends how you make it.
It also makes
That's
sense.
true. Yeah,
what you make
you don't
with.
make it too sweet.
Yeah.
If you make it with a rye or you make it with a bourbon, there's a difference.
I normally do
Or
rye.
you make it with both.
Right, because if you use a rye and you're using a higher rye, then you might not want to necessarily go 100 proof. You might be able to go lower and still get what you need out of it. Right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Big Vic.
If you like a rye,
I'm a rye person. I'm a huge rye
person. It's a good
person.
rye. That it's a low rye. Fighting Cock will make a good ass old fashioned. Because it's a 101 proof.
Yeah, I think it's one.
And it has the spice on it. And it goes well with the sweetness of the sugar.
So then, what would if I was to say 101?
When are you finishing, Jeffrey?
Oh, I just finished my Old Forester rye.
Oh.
I gotta take off for the night, everybody.
Yeah, take care.
Hey,
Night.
you know, Mr. Wack,
Time for me to go to bed.
Can you do me one favor though?
What you got?
Just for whoever's here.
One more.
One more spin.
Oh my gosh.
All right, one more.
You don't have
Let
to
it land on the weeded because that's what I got.
You don't have to drink. I just want one more. I just want a Jeffrey Wack spin for one of my lives.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like a Wheel of Fortune?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Of
What's up,
whiskey.
Lucy? No camera?
No.
He's naked.
All right. One more
Sexy
spin.
beast.
You are toasted.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a toast. It's a toasted barrel.
Toasted.
Pick something toasted barrel.
Something toasted barrel.
I know some people who are toasted.
What an appropriate one to end on.
How did that happen? That right next to me is a toasted barrel mixture.
Oh.
No, I can't find that. I want to find that so bad.
But good hanging out all night.
Yeah,
I'll
take
catch you
care.
later.
Hey, Mr. Wack, I
Jeffrey.
appreciate you, and you know what? I will get in contact with you because I really want to get an OKI freaking sample somehow, some way. Nobody else seems to have them. You seem to be the one person that I know that does.
Jeffrey's got
them.
everything.
I've got a couple.
So, all right. You have a good night, sir. Thank you very much.
Good night, everybody.
Well,
if you
I
have a
guess-
toasted, pour it. If you don't,
I do, but I'm sticking with my wife.
Cheers, I guess.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. tea, wine, old fashioned, toast. whatever Jason's drinking back there and not drinking.
Right now, I've got a single barrel Diet Mountain Dew from 2021.
Okay.
Mountain Dew, the caffeine isn't going to bother you?
No, I can drink 6 cups of coffee and go to bed.
Oh my God, not me.
That is a cool superpower.
I had that same problem.
My kids are like caffeine. Like my kids can do caffeine, like Monsters, Red Bull. Like they have to have it. Like I drink 5 sips of coffee in the morning. I'm good for the whole day.
Well,
I think Stanley can back me up on this. When we were in the Navy, they had 75-pound cans of coffee that was probably jet fuel and caffeine mixed together.
Yeah, Leon, he can drink a cup of coffee and go right to sleep. So.
I was getting ready to say to Jason, I was like, now I don't know what Jason's MOS, as some people in the Army would call it, but his what his.
I was a CT.
Okay, so
what's
he's
a CT?
Crypto tech.
Yep.
So he was a crypto tech. So he was. I can't I'm not. I'm gonna say
Coding and decoding messages, pretty
there
much.
you go.
Yeah, okay.
That's the easiest way of saying it. I'm not allowed to actually express exactly what he did. But he was in a different division of what I was. I was in engineering. I was a machinist mate. I worked down in the propulsion plants, and then I also, for a large part of my Navy career, was a master at arms. So I was a policeman in the military. But I can honestly tell you that there's this thing we used to call the lifer finger, which is basically the finger that holds the coffee cup. Because that's all you did was down coffee, and as a matter of fact, that actually contributed to how I went about my career in the Navy, because I was in nuclear power school to work on nuclear ships as a machinist mate, and I was drinking 4 to 6 pots of coffee per day plus 2 liters of Mountain Dew just to function. And I was also doing 250 caffeine pills per week just to function. And then when I went to the conventional fleet, because I ended up
I just don't understand how you guys' heart can do it. Like honestly, I have an arrhythmia, so like I can't like.
We're talking. I'm 19 years at the time. I'm 19 years old.
Still.
So I'm still like. This is before energy drinks and everything else. My energy drink was literally going to the Rexall drugstore, buying in bulk caffeine pills just to be able to stay awake enough to be able to make it through A schools and C schools. And then once I got done with that, went to the fleet. Then it was nothing but 12-hour shifts. Sometimes, depending on where you were at, you could be in there 16 to 24 hours. You're just actually taking naps when you're in specific places. You're literally mainlining caffeine pills, Mountain Dew, and caffeine and coffee. So Jason could probably back me up on this. We have caffeine doesn't necessarily affect us a whole lot. So I drink energy drinks for the taste, not for the bump.
Yeah.
Oh, they taste horrible. Oh my God.
Actually, a couple of them taste pretty good. Some of those.
I really love the taste of White Monsters.
And Bang energy drink, cotton
Bang's
candy.
really good. Yeah.
That's what he drinks.
Bang cotton candies. Bang cotton candies, just the taste of them are freaking amazing. So,
okay.
But yeah, White Monsters, those things are really, really good taste wise. So.
Yeah.
Is that an energy drink, Monster?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an energy drink.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can
you
literally
drink tea. You can't do
yeah.
And don't forget going to General Quarters, Stan.
Oh yeah, you go General Quarters and you go General Quarters. You could be. There's no limit on how long you're going to be up.
Yeah, that's when they lock the shit down for battle.
Yeah, so I was in the Persian Gulf during the first Gulf War, and we were up for 72 hours straight. At one point in time, 72 hours straight, and they allowed us to go to sleep for 2 hours, and then we were up again for another 72 hours straight. So
I want to say it was like 80 hours when we pulled into Haiti.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that depending on where you're at, depending on what you're doing, it could be. I mean, I've seen people that have been up for up to 2 weeks of nothing but taking 15-minute naps here and there when they can, and just living on caffeine. And now, literally, you could literally pour espresso down their throat, like a triple espresso, and they're like, "Okay, you got anything else? Because I'm really still tired. I'm ready to go to sleep." That's what I do now. I mean, people give me crap because I drink a Starbucks with 2 extra shots. Then I go home and like 35, 40 minutes later, I'm ready to go to sleep. So, but enough about that. Jason understands it because he was in the Navy with same with me. So, and he's in a position where I was in engineering, so I just work like engines and running ship. So I got a little bit more leeway than some of the crypto techs, especially during the Gulf War and then the second iteration of the same thing. Crypto techs spent 12, 16 hours straight doing stuff, and I have nothing but freaking respect for those guys. OSs and crypto techs were freaking, they're the monsters. They're the guys that can do that that have a lot of intestinal fortitude. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Vic, wear that bottle on your head. Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have rambled on for so long.
I was telling you about the weeded with the 10 slabs and all that of the makers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Explaining to them.
Giving me a history lesson.
I'm trying to teach him something here.
Bring him into the fold of what he's what Big Vic's all about now.
Yeah.
So, just a heads up, Big Vic. JD Bourbon Approach is in the chat, but he's coming out December 10th. So he'll be in from Poland / Lithuania / every other country he's been in the last few years. He'll be coming in December 10th. I don't know. I sent him an email to get the exact dates he's going to be actually in the States. So we can try to arrange something for all of us to get together at one point in time.
When is Stahl coming down? Because I know he's coming down in December.
Yeah, I got to call. I'm going to call Mike tomorrow and find out for sure what the dates are. He's going to be down here, but I'm hoping that they align at least on one day for all of us to meet JD Bourbon Approach, because he's been a huge part of a lot of freaking chats and a lot of freaking lives and stuff. So, yeah, and he sent me a video. He sent me a video of some stuff he's working on.
That's the big stuff.
And it was really cool. I forgot to email you back about that, JD, but it was really freaking cool. He's in a kilt. It's really freaking. It's a really good, cool video. Hopefully, he puts it out to everybody soon.
Cool. Yeah. I'm done.
Oh, okay. He just told me he sent me some date when he was his dates were that he's going to be here.
Oh.
So Trisha, what's coming up on your channel? How you?
I don't know. We're gonna film tomorrow, but we don't know what we're gonna do. We have like an old elk and then a couple of bottles that we haven't opened yet. So we'll see.
You should do a pairing whiskey with wine.
That's what I'm waiting for. Actually,
totally will do that, but I'll have to research it and do it like I know what tastes good together, but
I thought that's what you've been doing on these live streams at night.
Yeah, I do it every night now. Yeah, Leon likes wine, but not that much. So we'll see. Yeah. I know some really good ones that go together really well. So
Yeah. So Big Vic, your answer is that JD's going to be here from the 10th through the 29th. So I believe it should line up with Stahl being in town. So we should be able to do a Southern California meet. Where we all get together in one place, like Joe said, at his house or whatever, to the Stall.
Yep. Sounds good.
Cool.
So where is everybody in SoCal? Swags, you're in LA, aren't you? Or are you in Irvine?
No, I'm the one that's the outlier. So Big Vic is an OC, Tito's an OC, Whiskey Fancies is an OC. Orange County, excuse me. Jason knows. I think that Busey knows when I say OC. Joe is in Temecula.
He was in LA. Busey was in LA, so he knows.
Yeah.
So Joe's in Temecula. I'm out near Yucaipa Redlands.
Oh my God.
Bourbon Approach is from Palm Springs.
Oh my God, that place it's beautiful, but it's like 138 degrees year round.
Yeah. And then Clifton is in LA.
Burbank. Yeah, LA.
Burbank.
I thought is he not in West Hollywood?
Yeah, somewhere out there near West Hollywood. Then you got I'm trying to think who it is. Steve Burkow is in Pasadena. And then I'm trying to think who else. Neanderthal. Whiskey Neanderthal is in Orange County.
Where's Tito? Did you say where Tito was?
Tito's in Orange County.
He's in Orange County. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Sleepless Kimmy's in Orange County.
Why do all you fuckers live in Orange County?
Yeah. So basically,
Orange County's like huge, obviously.
Well, actually, if you
think
the thing is that Orange County is actually one of the smallest counties in California,
and most of the land is taken up by Disney.
Yeah, a large chunk of it is taken up by Disney. But yes,
all of Anaheim almost.
Yeah, our counties here are like maybe 50 miles square.
So the largest county in the United States the largest county in the entire United States is called San Bernardino County. That's where I live.
It's all
but I'm right on I could throw a rock and hit the Riverside County / San Bernardino County border. But yeah, I'm about 45 minutes or so from where JD actually originates from. I'm 45 minutes from Vic. I'm 45 minutes from Joe.
No, bro. We're more than 45. We're like an hour. I just went. I just went up to Calamasa, bro.
Like 45.
It depends on traffic too, because
I went to Redlands.
Because in California, traffic could be like 3 hours to get 10 miles down the road.
Glen Oak.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you're ever in Calamasa, Yucaipa, please, even if you're just delivering, send me a message because I live in Calamasa. So I'm only.
Yeah, I know.
I'm literally like I could throw a freaking rock and hit Oak Glen from where I live.
Yeah, I was one of my uncles came down from Arizona, so then we met up in Emmett, and we ended up going to the pumpkin patch on Friday night, and then Saturday we went up to the apple farms.
So really? Because the pumpkin patch is literally freaking one exit from where I live. I live by the old golf course. Bro. You know where the old? I mean, I don't know if some people don't know, but there's a Bob's Big Boy that used to. I live literally across the freeway from Bob's Big Boy.
Are any of those still open?
There's three of them.
Yeah, is that the ones that have like the statues?
Yes.
Yeah, like my picture.
Oh, that one. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's three of them that are technically active. The one in Yucaipa hasn't opened back up. But there's one in Southgate, and there's one in, I believe, Pomona. Possible. I think that it might still be open. But
the one in Southgate has a drive-through, bro. I just noticed that shit.
What?
I've been driving through that one for you.
So I
it has a drive-through.
So I can go get a Big Boy burger for free through a drive-through.
Through the drive-through.
Oh shit. That changes the freaking world right there.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite landmark restaurant in LA was?
Norm's?
Pink's.
Oh, Pink's hot dogs.
Pink's hot dogs.
Dude,
Well, I need to get going. I gotta eat breakfast and then do some business. So.
Oh, sorry.
Cheers, Frederick.
I mean,
See,
you
now we
have to
got a
work.
To all of you. So good night
Just
to
a
all
little
of you.
work.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's still Sunday.
All right,
So
Frederick.
take care, okay?
Good day,
All right,
Frederick.
All right.
Bye-bye.
take
Have a
care.
good one,
sir.
Frederick.
Yeah, we used to get the bacon wrapped chili dogs at Pink's.
See, that's the thing that's crazy about Southern California is that when you walk out of any concert, anywhere, whether it's freaking, it doesn't matter where it's at the Forum. It doesn't matter if it's at the freaking Riverside Municipal Auditorium. It doesn't matter if it's in freaking Central Valley. As soon as you walk out, there's somebody there with a freaking hot plate cooking bacon dogs.
It's not sweet though.
As soon as you walk out, am I wrong, Big Vic? Am I wrong?
No, sir. You're not wrong.
Dude,
No matter how small the concert is or how big it is, there's always somebody out there making excuse me expression, Tijuana dogs every freaking time you walk out.
my favorite thing was where I lived in LA, there was an uncle who would push a cart through and he would do the corn.
Elotes.
Yes.
Freaking
Yes.
hell yeah.
And let's keep that too.
Well, out here in the OC, they do it on the cob or they do it on the cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so they do the cup too, where they cut all the corn
Yeah.
right off the freaking cob?
Yeah.
Yep.
They basically
Yeah.
have a pod with a bunch of corn kernel and just scoop it into the cup.
And then we had.
I'm sorry. Wait a second, Trish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we're having this conversation with.
That's all right.
with you in the background. Trish, you really need to come out to Southern California.
I've lived in California, so
I mean,
I've been there.
just like I said, it's like people don't
That's how I
realize
knew
that.
about Bob's.
Like Southern California is literally the food truck.
My brother
capital.
lives
Got
in
my
San
phone.
Diego. So.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have my phone, Trish.
Food
Oh,
truck,
that's all right.
food truck capital of the world is freaking Southern
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
'cause
San Diego's probably my favorite place to be.
Oh, San Diego's the greatest place on earth, man.
Yeah.
If I could afford to live in San
I lived
Diego,
in
I would.
Coronado for
Yep.
a long time, and then I also lived in Crest Haven too. So
I lived in Granite Hills.
okay.
I lived in Granite Hills, El Centro, and
My dad was in the Navy, and he had once he got out of the Navy, he had a contract with the Navy, and he worked on all the aircraft carriers, their HVAC systems, the HVAC systems. So
I lived in that really shitty part of LA. No, I was. I was in Inglewood on the border of Crenshaw and Watts.
Yeah, you were.
I was not there, so I
was
cannot
on
attest to that.
Century Boulevard and
little.
Inglewood Boulevard were the cross streets where I lived.
God.
I
Wait a
was right
second.
by LAX.
But wait,
Well,
but
you
you were
actually,
but-
you know what? If you go back to that now, it's not a shitty place anymore because the SoFi Stadium is like right there.
Oh, dude, freaking my the guy that actually is my boss right now. I mean, the guy that runs runs the division that I work in right now. He just moved from Inglewood to Redlands, and he sold his condo for like $800,000 in Inglewood, and he was literally
So it was a shed.
less than a mile from SoFi.
So
But he sold it for $800,000 because all that property around there is now
Yeah.
So I
premium-
stayed with-
premium property.
I stayed with friends of a family that had a house and a garage apartment on one piece of property. And they let me stay in the garage apartment for free. So free rent in LA.
So were you stationed out of Long Beach at the time?
Huh?
Were you stationed out of Long Beach at the time, or
No, I was out by then.
Oh, okay.
I just a friend of a family needed someone to help move, and I heard California was the land of milk and honey. They just forgot to tell you that it's $10 a gallon for milk, and
Yeah.
forget about buying any honey.
That's us.
Oh, okay.
Like literally, we lived in Florida, and the reason why we left is I was like, I'm not paying for the condo that you are trying to sell me. Like, I'm not doing it. And then we moved here in Alabama, and I got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, half an acre of land for half the rent I was paying in Florida. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I was stationed. I went to school in Pensacola, A school and C school, and I was stationed in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, just JD Bourbon Approach. Yeah, the Bob's
Well, I
Big
lived in
Boy-
South Florida, which was way more.
The Bob's Big Boy Calamase is technically still open, but it hasn't. They haven't closed it completely, but it hasn't had any customers since COVID started. But they're refusing to shut the store down completely. They're waiting. You know, they're trying to revive the store because it was a big deal. The fact that Southgate and Calamasa were the last two standalone freaking Bob's Big Boys that didn't have to worry about other things. And so that's what we're waiting on right now. Norm's in I want to say Norm's in Indian Hill is pretty much been taking up the slack for like the car shows and stuff like that used to happen in Calamasa.
Dude, so I was really close to Randy's Donuts too.
Oh, fucking that!
I hate Randy's Donuts. Their donuts were just okay.
They have them everywhere now, bro.
Do they?
They have them out in Costa Mesa now. They have them in Southgate. They have them, I think, in Downey. They have another one. And they got that big ass one on the top of the building. The new building, but they got that big ass donut.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else. I don't know if anybody remembers flying into LA in like the 90s, but I was really close to the gentleman's club that said live, nudes.
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Yeah, I remember that. No,
I'm not saying I know what you're talking about.
Wink, wink.
Stan, you know you had a couple of those.
I won't say
I don't
that
want
back.
to know. Don't say it out loud. You're live on
Say it.
YouTube.
Say it, Stan.
I won't say back in the 90s
Cover your ears,
that I didn't go to those type of places. I'm 52 and I'm 52 now. I don't go to those places.
I may have worked at a couple of those places.
Yeah. I used to be a bouncer in nightclubs.
Yep. Same.
Same shit.
See, but the difference is that Jason and Vic were bouncers in those kind of clubs. So there's a difference. I was never a bouncer in those type of clubs. But
yeah, that's the difference. One's getting paid, one's paying. It's the difference. Yeah. Sorry.
You paid our wages.
All right, you gotta take me off or like go behind the scene.
Wait a second. Look at what where's the
Wait, Trish, what did you say?
Nothing.
We have to take you off or go behind?
No.
JD Bourbon Approach says Stan just went to TJ to see the shows.
Dude.
Donkey.
So my buddies used to take, for like 3 or 4 years, they would take me to San Diego for my birthday.
Oh, God.
And then we'd drive down to TJ. Wouldn't go to any of the crappy shows, but my buddy's mom was from TJ and they had a house there. His wife every year would get like a 2-pound lobster for $20.
Wait, okay. I would not trust a lobster on the West Coast.
Wait a second. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. If anybody's ever Vic might be able to freaking say something about this. I know Jason might be able to say something about this. But if you've ever been to Ensenada and had freaking seafood,
right here,
the seafood in Ensenada,
he lives out there.
The seafood in Ensenada, I will throw that against anything anywhere. The seafood in Ensenada is freaking amazing.
It depends where you get it.
I mean, I'm not going to Houson's. I'm not going to the freaking tourist trap.
You need to go to the shitty ass fucking spot, not the big ass bullshit place.
You're not. I mean,
that's the
because
same.
The cook is better in the little shitty ass tent than the big building.
But that's everything in Baja. You don't go to the You don't go to the place that everybody goes to because you don't go to freaking what's it called? Ensenada. You go to Houson's. You don't go to Senor Frogs. You don't go to those places if you're gonna get some good stuff.
Papa John, what is it? Poppin' beers?
Papas and beers. freaking, you're not going there to go get anything. You're going to the freaking little hole in the wall down on the end of the street that everybody's like, man, you don't want to go down there if you're a freaking white guy because you're going to get freaking jacked. But you go down there anyway, and then you all of a sudden realize, holy crap, this is freaking awesome freaking food. It's awesome freaking people. But everybody was trying to get you to not go there because they want you to go to the tourist trap, to Houson's, to freaking Papas and Beer, to those places.
I kind of feel like that's every place in LA is go to the little go to the little hole in the walls that had like maybe a B or a C on their health code rating.
No, not me.
Well, okay, Pink's Hot Dogs is the freaking perfect thing.
Yeah, it's a B.
Pink's Hot Dogs, it doesn't have an A. And
it doesn't have an OG, but it doesn't.
It will never have a fucking A, but that place is delicious.
Yeah.
Well, okay. The other thing is Danny's place, Trejo's, or
Danny Trejo's. Machete.
Yeah, Trejo's freaking donuts is freaking amazing. Trejo's freaking tacos is freaking amazing. Now everybody sits there and goes, well, Danny Trejo's is just a famous guy doing no. If you go down to Trejo's Tacos, you will see Danny Trejo's there working.
It depends which one you go to, yeah.
It depends on where you're at and what time you're at.
Yeah.
But you're gonna see him. He works his own businesses. He works at Trejo's Tacos. He does go there at 5:00 in the morning, not every day, but some days, and helps them out with their donuts and stuff. And they're freaking great donuts. They're cheap. They're not super expensive. Tacos, the same thing. But just like Pink's is freaking awesome, but people don't give it the heads up that a lot of people would, like Jason's in freaking Oklahoma, but he's like Pink's.
Yep.
This is the freaking bomb.
Dude, my favorite restaurant in SoCal was a little steakhouse in Carson called the San Franciscan.
Oh yeah, freaking! I've been there once, like 12. Once I think. Maybe.
Dude, they had the burgundy leather with the brass push pin bench seating and popcorn ceiling with the gold amber glass lights, but you get a prime rib from there, and it's the best prime rib you've ever had. Homemade horseradish. Oh, dude.
Oh yeah.
I'm starving.
Hey, speaking just real quick.
Honestly, don't say that much things about Trejo because that's Whiskey Mountain's daddy right there. Like he carries knives.
I could see Danny Trejo being Adriana's dad or her uncle or something like that.
Which is scary as hell because of the fact that I've met Danny Trejo in person, and he's like literally the coolest dude on the face of the earth. Like he's like the most down to earth person I've ever one of the most down to earth person I've ever met. But I know that if I messed up, I'm dead.
And he's only like 5'4".
Oh yeah, he's not that big of a guy. He's people think that this guy that plays Machete is this freaking big giant dude. He's nowhere near a big giant dude. Now, Big Vic, I know is a big giant dude, but I also know that Danny Trejo is not a very big guy. But
he'll still fuck my ass. He'll still fuck my knees or something.
Dude, yeah.
I didn't know that you were out here in California that long, Busey, to know a lot of these places.
Dude, I know food places as soon as I get into a town. That's my shtick.
Well, just like Trish, I didn't know that lived in Southern California. She might know something like, I'm gonna throw a word out there, and I know Big Fix can start salivating, but Tommy Burger?
Nah, bro, I'm good on that one.
Oh, you really get it? You don't think Tommy Burger's like?
My pops took us when we were.
But I've got to go, guys, because it's late. Okay. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Cheers, Trish.
Bye, Trish.
Bye, guys.
Sorry, Trish, if I end up talking
That's
about
okay.
Southern California.
She's gonna go with Cheech.
Right.
No, my dad never liked the burgers. so he never took it. I have one down in the corner of my block. I'm not a big fan of those. Yeah.
It used to be a big thing when I was like when I first got out of high school. It was Tommy Burger in Westwood, and I spent a lot of time out there in Westwood. In early college years before I joined the Navy. But I always thought Tommy Burgers was freaking legit. I mean, especially the chili burger was always legit.
There was a place next to where I lived called Hero Burger. And their shtick was they would throw pastrami on a hamburger.
But that's Hero. Is that Hero? That's in LA. That's Hero Burger.
Yeah, that's a SoCal thing. Yeah.
But Hero Burger, that's in. I want to say it's freaking.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of them. There was another one called Mellow Burger that did exotic meat burgers that had like ostrich and kiwi and alligator and bison and kangaroo, and it was pretty wild. It was good stuff.
What year was that, Lucy?
98, 99. It was over by Llama. If y'all remember when Llama was the largest mall in America before Mall of America.
Yeah.
Wow. Freaking, that's crazy that, so you're saying 98, 99. So wait, so your time in the military was from what year to what year?
94 to like 96, 97. I got out because needs of the Navy, and Bill Clinton, whenever he started shutting the Navy down, we went from 800 ships to 400 ships.
Okay.
They downrated me, and they were like, you can stay in or you can get out. And my ex-wife was like, you need to get the fuck out. So.
Well, I mean, it worked out for you eventually. I mean, obviously being a crypto tech and then working your way. I mean, even if it's only for a few years in the military, it worked you into something to where now you're doing.
Well, that's where I picked up computers. I was assistant ADP officer on.
Right. And now you're at a point where you went to school, you got all your stuff, the military paid for your school.
Nope.
Generally.
Nope.
Generally.
I didn't use it.
I was gonna say generally, but okay, you didn't use it.
Yeah.
But either way, it got you to the point where you're comfortable enough to do what you do.
Yeah.
And that's people don't give as much credit to the military, whether you do 2 years, 8 years, 10 years, or you do fucking 30 years. I don't think that people in general these days, younger people, give as much credit to the military for doing what they do for people. I was only in the military for 9 years. But I'm happy with every single bit of the 9 years. Maybe I wasn't happy during the time, but now that I look back, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So, and I know that I don't know that you'd be in computers right now doing what you do if it hadn't been for the military getting you into computers to do what you do.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do always appreciate the fact that you are proud to be the fact that you were in the United States Navy. Myself personally, I did just short of 10 years in the United States Navy, and I was happy, more than proud of what I did, what I had done. And like I said, I mean, even though I've never met you in person, you'll always be my brother because we have a bond that can never be broken, no matter what. I want
to say thank you for your service.
Well, and
I
you know
haven't served.
And like I said, there's no slight against anybody that's ever served, that's not served or whatever, because some people like Vic. Hey, I love you to death, brother, and it has nothing to do with anything that me and Jason have talked about. People do their time in different ways to be able to be in the situation that they're at. And Big Vic has done a lot of stuff. I know that he hasn't talked about it to me much or anything else, but I know that from talking to him and stuff like that, that he hasn't, like me, I haven't been the most perfect person in the world, but Big Vic's a freaking big part of my life, and I'm proud to call him my brother.
There you go.
And
Appreciate that.
And I appreciate the fact that you and Joe and Jason and all these guys are in my life, because you know what? The truth is that, and it sucks to say this when I'm been drinking, but if it wasn't for you, Vic, it wasn't for you, Jason, it wasn't for Joe, and it wasn't for a lot of these other people that have reached out to me and just been really cool to me, I don't know that I'd be here right now. So it means a lot to me for the fact that you guys are here to help me out and are here to just be there in case I need you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Love you, man.
Woo.
All right, folks. I'm going to go back to bed.
All right. Sorry, Jason, if I've been down.
No, man. You're perfect. You're perfect. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Brucey.
All right.
You.
Cheers, everybody.
Jason. Truthfully, Jason, I appreciate you. I'm sorry if me being hammered has fucked anybody else's wife up, but sorry. I know. Thanks for hanging around, Ben. I mean, I know I've been a pain in the ass, but it's been a long. I'm sorry. It's been a really long week, guys, and I've been. If anybody else has noticed, I
haven't seen you in chat in a while, bro.
Yeah, I haven't been in chat a whole lot. A little bit on HPR last week, a little bit here and there. I talked to Cheech earlier about it. I had a little bit of a lapse in mental health earlier in the week, so that's why I've been gone for a little while. And I appreciate everybody being here, and I appreciate the fact that Vic's not bailing on me right now because maybe be off a little bit, but
it's cool, man. You got my number, dog.
Yeah, I had a hard week. I had kind of a fucked up week. I talked about Cheech about it, and basically it just came down to somebody went from treating me a certain way a certain day to another, to a completely opposite the following day, and it put me in an anxiety situation that I've never had an anxiety attack with an individual. It's always been something with a bunch of stuff piling on top of me.
Right.
So I had an individual issue. And then when I told the person that they were causing an anxiety attack, they just blew me off. So last weekend I went through a really hardcore, I went through a panic attack that lasted like a half an hour, 25 minutes or so. Luckily my cousin and my brother, people were there for me to contact at that specific time of night that were able to talk me down and to be okay. But I'd take a couple days off from work for mental health reasons. And I've been all right all week, but it happens. I try to be as vigilant as I can when it comes to my mental health, but every once in a while it catches me. It catches me off guard and it messes with me really bad. But I'm in a better place now, and it's good to see that people support me, and that, like I said, Vic, you're not bailing on me with this bullshit, with me talking about this BS or whatever. And, your cousin over there who's just, sitting there going, "Who is this dumb motherfucker?"
He has an earbud, so he can hear you, bro.
I know he can hear me because he's sitting there.
Yeah, no.
I can see his hands and stuff like that. So he's, but the truth is that hey, this is what depression. This is how depression and all this other stuff. This is how it affects me. Sometimes things get behind. Some things get pushed a little too much.
See, there's a lot of people don't know too. Like I was a biker. Like we were bikers. He still rides. I don't. We're in a club that split up, and actually I found all you guys, and it's like fucking another family, man. And that's why I'm like fucking all into this, and it's cool, man. I mean, like I love all you guys.
Well,
like having another fucking brothers and sisters.
I've literally never been face to face with you, Big Vic, but I know that the first thing I want to do when I see you is freaking.
Don't kiss me. Don't kiss me,
dude. I'm not gonna kiss you. I'm not gonna kiss you, but I know that I can throw my arms around you and hug you and know that you're my brother. The same thing with Joe. It's one of those things where you just know that once you meet these people that they know where you're coming from, they know exactly what your story is, they're willing to accept you for who you are. And I know that you were a biker. I know that and so like that. And there might be a stigma behind it. I hate the fact that the show, what was it called? Sons of Anarchy ever came out because people made this biker gang thing into this, or this biker thing. And I'm going to say gang, this biker thing into something that it isn't. Okay. There is a brotherhood. Yeah. There is a brotherhood, but the situation is not the same for everybody. Now, is a lot of it the truth? Yes, because I know people that are involved in the game. But there's a lot of stuff that's not being told because people don't want to know that crap on freaking TV. They don't want to know the real drama that's behind everything that's going on. They don't want to know what these people have to face every single day of their life when they wake up, knowing that they might not want to be involved in it, but they have to do it because they just have to survive. So it's one of those things where I respect, because I know I'm from Southern California. I lived with and around Hell's Angels and Vatos and a lot of people. So it's like one of those things where I kind of understand there's a certain level that you can't get away. You just can't get away from it 100%. But it takes the most balls in the world to get away from it as much as you can. So that's why I have mad respect for you, especially Big Vic. I don't know your cousin, so I can't sit there and say the level of respect I have for him because he's still in the game. But I know. But I'm saying,
our chapter split up, so we didn't have another chapter to go to.
Okay, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I understand the game. I understand what you guys were involved in, and I'm here to be your brother again. It might not be the same way as per se what you've been involved in before, but guess what? Me, you, Joe, we're family. There's no way, shape, or form out of it. If you need something and I can provide it, I'm going to help you as much as I possibly can. And that's only because of the fact that it's not a SoCal thing. It's not a freaking whiskey thing. It's a fact that I know, like I said, I never was involved with a lot of stuff, but I know enough to know that for you to do what you do and how you go about doing it, that I have to have the most respect for what you have to go through and even just for yourself every single day. And I respect that as to the freaking umpteenth. And that's why you and like you, Joe, Clifton, all you guys here in Southern California you're my boys. I'm going to always have your back no matter what. So I'm sorry. I mean, I got a little bit too carried away there.
Yeah. Like, we're just a phone call away, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know I can call Joe. I know I can call you, but it's kind of hard, just as you know, it's kind of hard to sit there and tell yourself you need to call these people. Just to even have them say it's okay, everything's going to be good, we got your back. It's hard to do that. It's hard to take in, suck in your – it's hard to decide to pull in your own personal pride to admit that you need help from somebody else. You need somebody else to tell you you're doing all right. You're good. We got your back. So that's what's hard for me right now is that I know I can reach out to you. I know I can reach out to Joe. I know I can reach out to Clifton. I know I can reach out to all these guys that are here, Burkow, all these guys. It's just really hard for me to swallow my pride enough to go, these guys got my back.
Yeah.
And I love you guys for that. I love the fact that, I mean, people don't realize when, it's just funny to see like some of these guys say, oh, how many people are you in SoCal? And then when you start thinking about it, we have like one of the biggest groups of people on this whole whiskey tube thing compared to everybody. I mean, you got the whiskey fancies, which are freaking I love those girls. Those freaking girls are awesome. And then
oh, they're out here?
Yeah, they're there. They're right there in the OC. They're not that far from you. And then Tito, and then you know
I met up
John.
with Tito.
Yeah, Whiskey Neanderthal, and Sleepless Kimmy, and some of those guys from they're from IG, but there's a whole bunch of IG people here in
co-op.
OC.
Co-ops out here in OC.
Co-ops, I didn't, what, truthfully, I watched Co-op the other day for like all day long, like literally for like 6 hours straight. Because everybody's saying, well, Co-op's in Southern California. I'm like, if there's one person that does not say that does not seem like they're from Southern California, it's Co-op.
Co-op.
Because I watched it for 6 hours, I'm going, okay, there's no Southern California references. There's nothing that's saying like, oh, I got this bottle from El Cerrito or from Mr. K's or from Cypress.
No, he goes a lot to Cypress. He does go a lot to Cypress.
But it's kind of like really far.
I've talked to the guys from Cypress, and they told me
you really don't see a whole lot of him like throwing out there that he went to Great Press or he went to Cypress or he went to what you call it? What's the other one?
Mr. K.
Well, not just Mr. K. What's the other one?
Red Hill.
Red Hill or U.S. Liquor or any of those guys that are like in that same little freaking group. You don't hear him saying stuff about that, but then you don't realize that he's from Southern California. And I should reach out to him because he has some really cool freaking. I didn't realize. I watched a bunch of his streams, but it was kind of like I didn't realize how close he was to where I'm at. I mean, in general, people don't realize that. Okay, I'm only. If I was driving on a normal day with no traffic, I'm 45 minutes max from where you're at. In normal traffic, I'm an hour to an hour and 15 minutes from where you're at. If I was to say, "Hey, Big Vic, tomorrow," I'm gonna call freaking Tito, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, let's meet at Mr. K's," and you're gonna be able to you can meet us at Mr. K's. You still gotta travel like 25 minutes away. Tito's literally freaking like less than 10 minutes away, and me, it's an hour.
I think Tito's like fucking like 3 blocks away from Mr. K.
No, he literally walks to Mr. K. Like when he's gonna go over there and do picks and stuff, he walks to Mr. K's, does the picks, and walks home so he doesn't have to drive after he's drank.
Yep.
So yeah, he's down the street from Mr. K's. So I'm just saying, if I call you and say, "Hey, Vic, I'm gonna go meet Tito at Mr. K's. You want to meet up?" I'm driving an hour. You're driving 30 minutes, like 25 minutes, and then Tito's walking down the street. And I'm hoping that happens someday. I'm hoping that someday that I can convince freaking you, Joe, and Tito to all meet, and Bourbon Beginnings to all meet at Cerrito at one time. I think that would be awesome, and I also think that would be the most epic freaking like parking lot meetup that El Cerrito's ever had.
No, bro. I was outside in the parking lot when I was gonna meet Tito. The shit's not outside; it's inside the store.
Did you meet Tito? Did you meet Tito at El Cerrito?
I meet him at Mr. K.
Oh, okay. Because I met Tito the first time at El Cerrito, and yeah, and we met up in El Cerrito inside, and then we were talking about bottles that were on the shelf, and then we were talking about the picks and everything else, and then he picked up his freaking his box of like 20 freaking picks or whatever. Oh
yeah.
Dude, he's in the club. So El Cerrito has a club where it's 50 people, period. When somebody drops out, somebody gets put back in. I'm on the list to try to get in. But to be on the list, you have to commit to every pick they do for an entire year outside of anything above I think it's above $120 or something like that, or above $100.
And you have to commit to that.
And you have to commit to that. So when you get to that 50, he only has 50 people in the club. You're committing to buying every single pick that's below $100 or something like that. I think it's $100. I think I'd have to. He sent me an email. I'll send that on to you and let you know what the thing is.
I thought minimum was 150. I said, what the fuck? That's crazy.
No, I think it's 100. I think the minimum is 100. Then he gives you the option of buying whatever. But the thing is that Big Vic here can tell you, as I can tell you honestly, every pick I've ever had from Jazz, every one of them has been a fucking hitter. There's never been a bad one for me, at least.
You know what? I've never had anything from El Cerrito, bro.
You never had anything from El Cerrito? I thought you had
anything.
You know what?
The Arbitra. Tito gave me a sample of that, but I don't know if it was from El Cerrito or Mr. K. I think it was El Cerrito.
What I'm gonna do for
Arbitra makers.
Okay, so Big Vic, what I'm gonna do for you is I'll get in touch with you, or you get in touch with me. Address, so I can send you. What I'll do is I'll do a quick 12 pick. What I'll do is the 12 Pixmas. I'm trying to think how I was wanting the 12 picks of Christmas, where basically 12 picks. They'll all be from El Cerrito. I will send you every pick that I have from El Cerrito and let you taste it. I'll send you a sample. You just need to send me an address to themashville.live@gmail.com.
We're on Instagram, bro.
Or on Instagram, yeah. Send me your address, and I will send you a bunch of pics from freaking El Cerrito. Yeah, freaking Jazz has got one of the. For me, myself personally, he's and like Tito, I think Tito would back me up. Jazz is one of the best freaking palettes that I've ever freaking come across, because it just seems like, I mean, I'm not a Makers fan whatsoever, but his Albatross freaking pick was freaking amazing, and I was like, holy crap, it's a Makers I actually like.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that Makers.
That Albatross.
Yeah, I tried it at Mr. K. Tito took it, and he gave me a taste of that. It was really good.
Jazz is really, really good at freaking picking stuff, and he has some really cool stuff coming down the line. So you're on the El Cerrito.
Cypress is doing 2 Four Roses picks. One's coming out in December, and the other one's coming out in January. Oh yes, the first one is OESO.
Do you have so I'm trying to think. Like El Cerrito, so you haven't done anything with El Cerrito. So have you gone? So I know you do stuff with. I mean, I know that you've tried Cypress here and Cypress there.
Yeah,
I've had a couple Cypress picks. They've been good, but in my opinion,
be honest, bro. Be honest, bro. They're all right. They're all right.
Since they lost the Bourbon Shelf, as their picker, their stuff's gone downhill. Yeah. I'm not, if I'm going to be honest, if anybody knows this at all, when they lost the Bourbon, when they had their incident, I'm not going to say screwed over, but incident with Bourbon Shelf, and went with exec, their picks have gone downhill. Not to be disrespectful to whiskey exec, but there's a reason why your Del Bock didn't sell, brother. I'm sorry to say, whiskey exec, there's a reason why your Del Bock didn't sell, and that's because it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And for Bourbon Shelf to leave for OC Bourbon to leave per se, they still have a couple picks here and there, but for them to pretty much jump out from doing all the picks that the OC Bourbon was doing, pretty much says what's going on with Cypress Craft. Most of their picks are decent. I'm not going to say that they're not worth the price they're charging, because they are charging basically retail, but I wouldn't pay $1 over retail for anything that comes out of Cypress Craft. And I love Cypress. I love the guys at Cypress Craft. They've always been really good to me. But
Sean and Sam, they're fucking great.
Sean and Sam are great. Take care
of me every time I go in.
Sean and Sam are great, but their picks are middle of the road. They're not Red Hill. I'm sorry, Red Hill's got the best picks in OC right now.
Really?
I think Red Hill does have the best picks in OC, because and I also think U.S. Liquor is doing really, really good. I think that Great Press.
See, U.S. Liquors, it's actually hard to get their shit, because that thing flies, bro.
But I mean, as soon as it hits the floor, it flies off the door. Yeah, but Whittier, Liquor Mart Whittier does really good on their picks.
Okay,
they do pretty good on their picks. If I was to say who's the best pick in Orange County, it's always I might be freaking. I'm sorry. I might be the worst person in the world, but it's not really actually Orange County. It's technically Orange County, because Newport Beach is in actual Orange County. But we know that fucking High Times picks are freaking bomb. High Times picks are bomb.
They got good shit.
They've never had a bad. I've never had a bad pick ever from them.
But see, High Times has a lot of personnel, so they can pick and choose who they send to do these picks or who they do the picks with.
But they also have that they have Old Man Bourbon, which is the guy, which is the distributor, for all their Buffalo Trace and everything else that they get picks on from that side. So,
Did
and
you
he's
see
the
the fucking message on the the Coy Hill?
No, I haven't seen a Coy Hill message yet.
Bro,
are you telling
he
me
just posted that shit on Instagram? He said, "I don't know why I'm posting it, but SoCal's gonna get like 2 bottles. That's it." And I'm like,
what? How is so? Oh, wait a second. So you're gonna tell me that High Times, which is the major distributor for anything that's freaking Buffalo Trace in Southern California, is not going to at least a case or two of freaking Jack Daniels? That's bullshit.
I doubt it.
Number one, if you're me or Vic and you know the people at High
The way
Times,
the whiskey's going right now, bro.
That's bullshit, dude. There's no way they're not getting 2 cases. There's no way they're not getting 2 cases.
They put out shit like crazy, but if old man fucking says it, it's shit. It's like,
there's no way that fucking High Times doesn't get at least number one 2 cases, which is 12 bottles. If anybody doesn't know that, there's no reason they don't get at least 12 bottles out of that thing. Number one, and number two, how in the hell is Rocco's going to get anything if High Times ain't getting but 2 bottles? How's Rocco's or K&L or any of those guys? Because everybody knows that anybody in Southern California knows anything that hits Southern California goes through High Times.
Through High Times, yeah.
Everything goes through High Times. Then it goes to WDLA. It goes to K&L and everything. Everything goes through High Times when it comes to Southern California. Anything from Buffalo Trace immediately goes through for your High Times, but 95% of everything else that goes through Southern California goes through High Times before it goes anywhere. So that's what's really weird is that, like Northern California, I can understand that they said K&L is only getting 2 cases, but for High Times to say they're only getting 2 bottles, that's kind of suspect, dude. Is that Big Vic? Come on, dude. Do you think that it's two bottles for the public and 2 bottles for the case, or is it 2 bottles for the public and 6 bottles for the case?
It should be 6 bottles for the case.
So that's what I'm thinking is that they got 2 cases, 6 bottles to the public. We're going to look at it we're going to look at around $100. And then once it hits the case after the first 6 bottles, if anybody knows anything about High Times, they like to put stuff as close to.
I'm going to read what he put. He put, "Oh man, Bourbon go like, I really don't know why I post this coming up to California. The state will probably get 2 bottles." All he put.
The state.
The state, bro. And then you see the bottle of the Coy Hill right there.
Is Coy Hill so rare that we're only going to get 2 bottles in California? Because I know that
I don't think it's going to be only 2 bottles. Hopefully, it's not only 2 bottles. But I mean, like Coy Hill.
Well, my hope would, my hope would be that myself and yourself happen to be down at, say, tomorrow at freaking High Times, and we just happen to be lucky enough to be one of the 2 people that show up when they put out that first case at freaking retail. Because I'm sorry to freaking do this. No, actually, I'm not sorry. The one thing that's really cool about High Times is they tend to put out a case, or depending on how much they have, they tend to put out the first case or 2 out at retail. Then once they get down to the last case, then it goes into the case, Which
like
if anybody's ever been to High Times, literally the most beautiful freaking one of the most beautiful
I
freaking
hate that fucking case, bro.
I hate it
that
every time I
gas
look
case.
at it. I hate it every time I look
I
at it. But the
fucking
stuff
went in
is
there and I got that Master Repeat black box. What is it? 86, 90, whatever.
so you're talking but you bought it at
The
199 at 199, right?
No, I got it for 250.
Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know
I knew they were gonna get me on it, but I said, you know what? If I don't get it, I'm never gonna get it.
see, High Times has this really awesome freaking. They have probably two of the most awesome cases in the world when it comes to bourbons and freaking scotches. If you go over to the Scotch case and you're a Scotch guy, you will literally.
Now they got a section of tequila.
Yeah, well, tequila's pretty good too, but literally, if you go over to their Scotch cabinet, if you're a Scotch guy, you will have to excuse yourself to go to the restroom because the stuff they have in there and the prices that they actually have there are pretty decent for what they're asking.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
But when you go to the bourbon side, it's a completely different story. It's still kind of still within your reach, but just out of it. So like, what was it? I'm trying to think of what was the last time I was there. Last time I was there, they had an old freaking like Jim Beam bottle that was like from the freaking 70s or something. And it was literally they wanted like $3.99 for it. And I'm like sitting there going, will my credit card not kick me in the dick for this? Because they have some really cool stuff you can't find. You literally cannot find anywhere else. They had was that Old Soul 18 or whatever they were selling for like I want to say $3.99. And it's literally like that $3.99 is way above what it sold at initially, but there's no more Old Soul 18s left.
In there too.
There's no Old Soul 18s left. So you know that $3.99 might be the only price you can buy it at. They know exactly what they're doing there.
They know what they have. That's the bad part.
I've only bought one thing out of the case, and the one thing out of the case I bought was an Old Carter. I want to say Kentucky batch 1, and I bought it for $269 when retail was like $199, but it's the only place I could find it.
Yeah, but still not bad.
But it's still not bad, so I bought it.
For rye, I paid like $220 at some other store.
And this was the Kentucky. This is the Kentucky batch 1, so I was willing to pay a little bit more for something that you could never get ever again type situation. And that you knew that it was the very first batch of whatever. So I dropped a little bit extra. I mean, well, not a little bit extra. It was $89, like almost not $100 extra. But so yeah, it's cool to talk to somebody about. Not a lot of people know about High Times. You, me, Joe, Tito. But High Times is, dude, those guys are like legit. Like if you go to them, a lot of those guys, if you go to them and say, hey, you got anything in the back that you haven't put out yet, a lot of those guys are pretty much straight up. Like, yeah, okay, let me go look. That's how I got my that's how I got my Taylor small batch for freaking retail. That's how I got my single barrel for retail. That's how I got my rye for retail. Because I asked them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we got it. We got this in the back. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Okay, how much? Oh, we're retail. I got this freaking. What was it? Yeah, this single barrel. I got it for fucking $69. I got freaking my rye for $59 because.
No shit.
Yeah, because I was just cool about it. I was just like, hey, Do you have anything else? If not, cool. But the other thing was too is like, okay, so now
See, I
Big
get
Vic.
it for fucking. I got it for 100.
But what I'm just
My
saying
single
is
barrel
like it's
and,
one of those things
my
where I started talking to him about stuff that wasn't on the shelves and showing that I was really into it for the whiskey, not for this resale. And they were like, "Hey, cool, let's hang this up." And then the thing was, is the very first time I was ever at High Time, I met Old Man Bourbon.
Oh yeah.
He was there, and he's like, "Hey, my Instagram is Old Man Bourbon." Blah blah blah. So I hit him up right there. Made sure I had his shit, and I make sure that I always follow his shit. And then I told him, I said, "Hey, what do you got coming out? Coming out?" And he's like, told me like 2 weeks ahead of time. Oh, hey, this EHT single barrel is going to hit here on this date. He says, call the day before. Tell him that I gave you Old Man Bourbon, told you to call him, and that bottle will be there. And I was like, okay, cool. That's awesome, dude. Thank you very much. And he's Old Man Bourbon, if you ever get to meet him, is a really cool dude. And I called him, told him, hey, I was looking for the single barrel. Old Man Bourbon told me that you were getting it. And they're like, okay, cool. When are you going to be here? I said, I'll be there in like 3 hours. They're like, okay, cool. $69 plus tax. I'm like, cool. Boom. Walked in, grabbed the single barrel, walked back out. So it was like one of those things where I just happened to meet the right person at the right time.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the thing. The thing in California that I found out is that if you know where to go and you know the people that are there and they trust you to not be a flipper, they'll hook you up. I mean,
Cypress thought I was a flipper. They nicknamed me Flipper because they thought I was flipping bottles. I'm like, no, bro.
Cypress thinks everybody's a flipper, dude.
Yeah.
I got the same thing the first time I went in there. I bought first time I went in and bought 4 bottles of the Cypress store pick for Eagle Rare. And they asked me,
I've never had a pick.
Oh, okay.
I know you have picks from out there, but I've never seen a pick of Eagle Rare. I have the regular one. I have a little bit of it.
We'll hook up and I'll give you a freaking sample of it, but it's not phenomenal. I mean, I think the Royal Liquor one that I have is way better, and I can get you a bottle from Royal Liquor. I have one. I literally have 2 or 3 bottles sitting right now in my closet, so I can get you a Royal Liquor pick bottle for just being my friend. So it's not something that
you just woke up.
Yeah. But I can get you a Royal Liquor pick of Eagle Rare with no issue. But the Cypress one, I actually drank it tonight, and it wasn't freaking, like I said, it wasn't great. I haven't found a Cypress Liquor pick that I've had that's been to the point where I want to go get a second bottle. But that Royal Liquor pick, I picked up a case at one time. Like,
but you know what? I think Tito had issues because Tito doesn't go to Cypress.
What's that?
Tito, he doesn't go to Cypress.
Oh no, he hates freaking that place
At all. Yeah.
I mean, I know why he doesn't. I mean, I understand why he doesn't like that place.
I spoke to Sean today when I went because he put this one on Cypress, the video too. So then I went in and I told him, yeah, I was talking to you and all this, and like kind of mentioned this last time, and then he got kind of quiet, and I'm like, they're beating shit or something. But I'm like, yeah, just charge me for the fucking bottle, I'm out.
Yeah, the thing is that Cypress, there's like 4 or 5 different liquor stores that are actually like physically like related to Cypress. That I can honestly tell you from trying a couple of their picks, There's no reason for me to go buy. There was no reason for me to go back and buy a second bottle. Like as soon as I got the Eagle Rare pick, I brought it home. As soon as I got it home, I tried it. It wasn't anything that grabbed me by the balls and said, "Hey, you got to buy another bottle." I waited a week or two. Same thing. It just was like, was it better than Standard Eagle Rare? Yeah. Yes, but not enough for me to say I gotta go get another bottle. That Royal Market liquor, one that I have that I bought the case of, freaking Samurai asked me, "Can I get another bottle of that?"
Oh, yeah.
I tell myself all the time, you shouldn't give up the last two bottles you got. It was just a really, really good pick, and it was great. It's actually the bottle that I use as a chug bottle right now. But it's only because I have 2 or 3 left in the closet over here. Now, one of them's spoken for Whiskey Samurai. One of them's going to be spoken for me. But I have no problem hooking you up and letting you try a freaking Eagle Rare store pick from Market Liquor. From Royal Liquor, which is in OC. So that way, if you like it, if you like their pick a lot or whatever, then the next time they do Eagle Rare picks, which should be, I want to say sometime in December, which means they should be getting the ball sometime in January or February, then maybe that gives you, says, okay, cool, I'm going to go. And what's really cool about Royal Liquor and what's really cool about a lot of Southern California places is that once they drop the initial store picks, they're like, what do you call it? Retail for one day.
Yeah.
So you can go buy a whole case like Whittier, Liquor Mart Whittier, Cypress, Red Hill. Sometimes freaking Great Press, but not so much. And Royal will all go the first day selling them at retail for cases. And then after the first day, that usually means they've wiped out a large portion of the cases. They go to secondary. So then those bottles that were $30 a bottle or $35 a bottle, depending on where you went, now become secondary, which now becomes into that $50, $60, $80 bottle.
Right.
But like I said, I bought 2 cases actually from Royal, and I'm down to 3 bottles right now. And people are always like, "Hey, can I get another Royal bottle?" So it's just one of those things where I really think that I'm gonna have to send you minimum. I'm gonna send you a sample, but I'm probably gonna try to somehow, once I get your address, get you a bottle of that Royal Market pick, because it was really, really freaking good. Yeah, still talking about food.
Yeah, I'm gonna bail.
What's that? You ready to bail?
I'm gonna bail. Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, you know what? I'm sorry if I was too much of a downer.
No, it's cool. I had family here, so that's why I couldn't jump on.
Oh no, I completely. I know.
I was trying to jump off the cheat stream, and I'm like, fuck.
No, I completely understand.
Most
dude,
of them left. He's the one that stayed. That's it. Fucking let's go back.
All right, man. Freaking
jump on stream.
Much love. You know where to hit me up.
Hey,
I'll give you a holler, and we'll get hooked up with that pick and some other stuff. We'll get everything hooked up.
Cool.
All right.
Good, bro.
Love you, brother.
Okay,
Have a good
my
evening.
number. Hit me up, bro.
All right.
You too.
All right. Have a good night, man.
You too.
All right, so it's 1:10 in the morning on my side here, and I'm not sure where we're at on time because, unfortunately, All right, so there we go. So I'm at 7 people still watching me for some fucking reason. Guess some says yeah. It's let's see, 1:10 in the morning. 7 people are watching me for some strange freaking reason. If anybody wants to jump on, go ahead and jump on real quick. No problem with that. But let's see. I'm glad to see the JD Bourbon Approach is still here. Sir, like I said, I'm just glad that you're going to be here in the States. It means a bunch to me that somebody that actually supported me through all this garbage through the last 6-8 months has been you. And I'm appreciative of the fact that you have, the bottles that you sent me. Still to this day, my favorite scotch is the one you sent me, the Glendronach 15 Revival. I'm milking the hell out of that bitch. But if everybody can hold on for just a few minutes, I'd appreciate it because I have to go. How you say the words? Bio break real quick. If anybody else wants to jump in when I come back, Top Shelf Dustin or JD or anybody else, feel free to. I think I'm going to go I'm going to go 20 minutes and make the 2-hour mark. So I will see you guys in a couple of minutes. Sorry. I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Anybody wants to jump on and have a conversation? Cool. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sup? Let's see. What's it? Okay. So yeah, JD freaking yeah, definitely. Dude, I'm telling you, freaking when you come back, it's gonna be freaking amazing amazing for you to be able to taste some of the stuff you haven't been able to taste yet, but definitely some of the stuff that I've never tasted in my entire freaking life. It's gonna be freaking awesome, JD. So definitely looking forward to that. Sure. Excuse me, the 5 of you that are watching. Just trying to get some food in myself, in me, so that I'm not completely freaking illiterate. I mean, completely. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the Starward. Starward, actually did a what do you call it? A live tasting with. I think JD follows him actually on Instagram as a hood sommelier and single barrel snob, where it was twofold Nova. Single cask release called Gold Eagle and the Solera. And they give a really cool freaking sticker and little tasting book and an actual like pin from Starward. That was really cool. But I did that and it was I'm not gonna say anything bad about Starward because it was actually really good. But it's it's obviously something in the works that they're bringing their whiskey up to par per se. But let's see. Pendrin. I'm trying to think Pendrin is. Pendrin Sherry, which sounds good. I'm trying to think Pendrin. For some reason, I want to think Pendrin is freaking Irish whiskey, but it's not. It's an Inchman 12-year peated. Not a peated fan, but that might change soon. I'm doing would be doing a live stream with Kilco, where he sent me a blind flight of peated whiskeys, which is right somewhere around here. Maybe it's something else. Yeah, I think I might set it out of the way. Oh, here it is. Here. Yeah. But Kilco sent me a peated whiskey flight that I'll be doing live on his on his YouTube here soon. But just when I'm completely friggin' hammered, I can barely hold on to my friggin' native language of English. Go ahead and add Dustin to the stream.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. I'm probably in all kinds of trouble. I got to get on a plane here in like I don't know, 8 hours. And I got to pack and everything. So
where are you going?
I'm going to DC for a conference. It's going to be a complete and utter waste of time and money, but the company was paying for it, so whatever.
So outside of like work stuff, do you have a planned bourbon hunt while you're there in Washington?
Dude, I won't have any time except work. I've pretty much going to be in sort of classes, if you will, from 8 to 5, and then I've got dinner scheduled every night with salespeople. So yeah, even lunch is work related. It's going to be. I guess I could probably sneak out afterwards, but I don't want to I don't have a car while I'm there, so it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that for the fact that there are some pretty decent. There's some pretty decent freaking stores that you can go and check out that are in the Washington D.C. area.
Oh yeah. One of the cool things about DC is that they can they basically don't have rules and laws on whiskey. Like they can bring stuff in from anywhere. They don't have to follow all the distribution bullshit other places do. It's a mecca, really, man. Yeah, I'd love to meet up with Telix as well. I think he's in that area, but I'm not gonna have any time. I was looking at my calendar, and I've got freaking every night is booked. It's just like, oh my god, are we really doing this?
Well, how long you're in DC for the whole week, or?
No, I'll be back. I'll be back on Wednesday night, so I'll be there Sunday night through Tuesday night.
That just kind of sucks to be there on Sunday night.
Well, it sucks. I give up my Sunday too, so I'm taking Thursday and Friday off, but I'm not.
Well, here's the thing too: is that aren't you technically missing out on some drops this week in Ohio, since you're going to be in freaking Washington?
Well, not in Ohio, because the stores by me, they get their drops on Thursday and Friday usually. There's one store near me that does a Tuesday drop, but I ain't getting shit in Ohio and Kentucky, man. So all right, get this shit. This is crazy. I'm not the nicest of people in the world or the most socially skilled, but generally speaking, I'm not terrible in person. And I'm at one of my stores I spend pretty good money at, and I'm talking to the guy. I grabbed a Buffalo Trace store pick from him that I'd used some of my points for, and I just kind of casually dropped in. Yeah, you guys plan on doing like a bunch of all the cool stuff releases all at once? You think? Because I know they've got a bunch of stuff they haven't released. And he goes, "Man, we really don't have much." And I was like, "All right, I know you're full of shit, but okay." And so, mind you, I know a couple bottles they've got there because I've talked to people. I know stuff. And I didn't really go there. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, he goes, hey, just FYI, have you guys released that Four Roses limited edition yet? Which I know they have because I saw a bottle there. They couldn't sell me. And he goes, I don't think we've got that in the store. I was like, oh, yeah, man. I saw one here. You guys got that? I'm pretty sure you guys got that. And he's like, well, thanks for calling me a liar. And just walks away. And I'm like, I didn't say you were a liar. I just assumed you didn't know. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Dude got angry, like raised his voice. I was like, whoa. That was not how I intended that statement to be made.
The same thing happened to me. It's at Total Wine, too.
I was just like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, I didn't call you a liar. I just assumed you didn't know. Like, I know you guys get stuff in. It doesn't get put out. The owner kind of does his thing. Maybe he gets buried behind some stuff. I didn't think this guy was lying. I just assumed he hadn't seen it.
Yeah, the same things happen to me at Total Wine at times where I'm like, okay, well, according to your website, according to people I've talked to, that you have this. And they're like, well, no, we don't. I'm like, okay, well, this is what the website says. And they're getting upset at me thinking I'm calling them a liar. I'm just like, no, you just might not have known, because when it comes to places like Total Wine or Bevmo or any large scale Benny's, any large scale distributor, I mean a large scale wholesale place, retail place, whatever. Not everybody's gonna know that this is in. So it's like
you got a small mom and pop store. I mean, again, the guy who was there for the delivery and the owner probably know. Everybody else, I mean, this guy was probably a manager or something. I think he's higher up. I'm not sure. And that's the other thing is I have no idea what his position is there. I don't know if he's a big shot or not. Everybody there to me just looks like they're staff. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, again, everybody doesn't know these things.
It's just okay. It's just like when you go to Total Wine. All right. Everybody's in the exact same shirt, whether they're the freaking most senior person or the most junior person. They're all in that white button-down piece of garbage freaking long-sleeve shirt. And so you don't know unless they're actually wearing their freaking real, and this has happened to me, real freaking name tag that says whether or not they're a manager or whatever. You have no clue whether or not they know shit about scotch, whether they know shit about bourbon, whether they know shit about anything, because they just have to be covering that area while that person's on break.
Well,
so
even
freaking,
even if they're the manager, that doesn't mean they know shit.
Well, no shit. No. Believe me, I freaking had many. Now it's gotten few and far between when it comes to Bevmo. Now they've kind of gotten on their game, where they've pretty much put people in positions where, like, when somebody pushes the button to get help in bourbon, that the person that comes to helps them knows about bourbon. But Total Wine, unless you see their picture on something in the area, those people don't know shit about that area. And the people that are in the picture still don't know shit about the area, but they know enough about the area that they're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
To give recommendations.
Well, I mean, I've even found, like, if it's not the guy who's actually the buyer for the store, they just don't know certain things. Like, because stores play these weird games where they don't even let their employees know what they have. And I mean, it's become a consistent thing. So again, I wasn't trying to be rude to this guy. I like the guy, but he was so offended and so angry. I actually got upset. I'm like, are you implying I'm a passive aggressive asshole? Because if I thought you were lying to me, I'd have just said you're a liar. I wouldn't have played some passive aggressive. Well, I know this, but you don't. Dude, I just happened to I thought it was information. Like, oh, actually, I know you guys had it in. I saw it last Wednesday when it came in. Saw the bottle, and they wouldn't sell it to me. All good. No big deal. I'm not upset. I just, I'm wondering when it'll be available. And I know you probably don't know.
Exactly. That's the thing, too, is that. So, I mean, when it comes down to places like, okay, if you go to a mom and pop store and you walk in and you ask for something, they say they don't have it. There's a good chance they don't fucking have it because they know exactly what they have coming in because they're restricted to a certain amount. They're allocated as very, very freaking little or whatever. When you go to places like
talk to mom and pop,
when you go to a box store,
mom and pop, no.
When you go to a box store, do not expect any experts. Ever. Even if the guy's been at Total Wine or whatever for freaking 15 years. Don't expect that he's an expert in anything because they send these guys to classes every single week to learn everything in the store, not just one specific area of the store.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody in the bourbon aisle, doesn't mean they're a freaking bourbon expert. If you see somebody in the scotch aisle, there's nowhere even close that they're a scotch expert in case they are a fan of or they partake in the scotch. Surprisingly enough, more than 50% of the employees at a Total Wine do not imbibe in alcohol at all. They're there for a job.
That, at least at the stores I've been to. But you're in California, which is a whole different world.
Right. So it's like there's a lot of people that don't even drink alcohol whatsoever. They're sitting there giving people advice on what they should be buying.
That's crazy.
And but
here's a good one for you, man. So the Party Source is one of the largest liquor stores in the country.
Yeah.
And it's employee owned, quote unquote, which I think is a little bit of bullshit, but there's some truth to it. Anyway, one of the guys there, the manager, he's been there for 15, 20 years, all right? And he knows a darn good amount of bourbon and scotch. He does know his stuff.
Yeah.
I was talking to him one day, and I mean, we occasionally chat a little bit. And he definitely knows cigars because he definitely stinks of cigars pretty often. Like, he's definitely smoking cigars on his break. So he definitely knows cigars. So we're chatting. And so every now and then we'll talk about some picks and stuff, and he'll tell me some great stories about old picks, and he'll mention stuff they've got coming in. And I always kind of like, any chance it'll be actually be available? And he kind of looks at me like, nah, you're not getting a bottle. Like that's not how the system works these days. But yeah, it's all good, you know. And he knows I know that's the system, so and he knows I don't care. It's just like, all right, cool. We're chatting one day about scotch, and he goes, you know, man, for me, I just don't like scotches over like 12, maybe 15 years old. And I'm like, seriously? He goes, no, I just don't even like them. I'm like, really? You forget money. You just don't like them. He's like, no, I just don't like them. I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, I wish that was where I was at. That would save so much money.
Yeah, especially on the Springbanks.
Oh my god. Well, actually, you know, the thing is with Springbank lately is they've been doing a lot of like younger stuff, so that'll probably still falls in his world. It's the peated stuff that gets me, man, because there is a whole different experience in an old peated whiskey and a young peated whiskey.
Well,
they could not be more different.
I'm not a huge fan of peat in general, so that one's kind of lost on me in a way. Some of the lighted peated stuff, like say an Bourbon 14 or something in that range, is all right with me. Somebody got me to try that Lagavulin, what is it, 16? So I had a bottle. It's not something that I wouldn't drink again, but it's not something that I'm going to go out and grab another bottle of.
So I always ask the question with people on this topic. So what do you like about it?
You know what? Truthfully, outside of the barbecue-ish type friggin' smoke to it, it just has a good taste to it. It just has something about it outside of the smoke. This is like, okay, but this is pretty decent. Now,
two things I think you will get on a Lagavulin 16. I haven't had one in a couple of years, but it was one of my early whiskeys. The first thing is, I mean, there's just a classic Lagavulin malt, which I think is a really good, high quality malt. It's a sweet, savory kind of thing. That's not the peat that's doing it. It's just a sweet, savory malt, just really good. The second thing is it uses sherry cask, which add a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of oakiness, and then I think both of those are really good notes. Are those kind of what you're getting?
Yeah, it's when it comes down to it, it's more of, I don't know. I just don't like getting punched in the face with freaking smoke. I like
I'm trying to focus on what you like, not what you don't.
Like with the Bourbon 14, okay, it's super light. I mean, the smoke on it is really freaking light. And somebody suggested, oh well, why have you tried the Bourbon 18 or the Little Bay? And I tried the 18. Somebody gave me a sample of it, and I was like, that's a little too much. Little Bay's all right, but when I started, I mean, the truth is that I said it earlier to JD, but my literally favorite Scotch that I love to death is this 15 Revival from Glendronach.
And that's how I was trying to target the things you liked about the Lagavulin 16, because it's also a sherry whiskey, and I think they even use some PX in that one. I'm not positive.
Yeah. So the thing is like with the sherry, I think that on the, I'm not a fan of sherry when it comes to like the bourbon side of things, but for some reason for Scotch, it seems that Pedro Jimenez or the freaking standard, just a regular sherry or whatever, seems to be a finish that I'm good with. That I have no issues with, and every Scotch that I know that I've tasted that has had a Jimenez or a freaking just a standard sherry finish on it has been like, I mean, La Santa or whatever. It's been really good.
Yeah, I
For
always
me.
send new bourbon drinkers to the sherry finish stuff. Always do it because sometimes bourbon drinkers don't like kind of raw malt taste. They need a little bit of sweetness that's different than that to kind of bring them in. And I think sherry does a really good job of that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of the. I've got like a Dalwhinnie that I don't hate. I do have freaking the Glendullan Game of Thrones, the Singleton, which I really freaking like. There's some others. Glenmorangie 10 is like, I love that to death.
Okay.
Lasanta's always been freaking good with me. Actually, Glenmorangie across the board, I've never had one that I didn't like.
Quinta Rubin's the one I always would tell people to start with. I love it.
The Quinta Rubin I liked, but I really kind of like the Nectar Dior for some reason. I also kind of really like the Lasanta. Quinta Rubin
was. You had the new ones or the old ones? So you'd know because the Quinta Rubin is 14-year now. They used to be 12. And then the Nectar Dior used to be 12 years, and now they just don't have an age statement.
So, yeah, that's a question. Since you're the Scotch guy, that's a question I have is that I found a white label Nectar Dior, which would put it, from what I can gather from the date on it, around 2007, 2006, 2007 as the bottle.
Okay. That'd be an old bottle. Really?
Well, now the Nectar Dior bottle is a gold label, blah, blah, blah. The white labels from, I want to say 2014 or 2016 and earlier. This one is like 2007. And then I also found a Lusanta old bottle at 2007 also. And somebody asked me, because the Nectar Dior is $100 and the freaking Lasanta is $65. Well, if I look at Lasanta right now, I can get it for $45 and I get a Nectar Dior for $70 in mid 70s. They said, is there going to be a real difference in between a 2007 Lasanta and a 2021 Lasanta?
I honestly couldn't answer that one for the very simple fact I've never liked Lasanta that much.
Okay. And then on the Nectar Dior, it was the same question. Was a 2021 Nectar Dior?
Well, you're going to get me again. The old ones are 12 years old, but that's why they were $100. I mean, and those casks are
right.
Nectar Dior, I never thought was worth the price premium, but I always enjoyed it.
And I mean, I understood the Nectar Dior being at the price premium because the next step up was Private Select. So Nectar Dior was the top of the line, and then you went into Private Select, which went into Cadball Estate, and all those other. Was it? I'm trying to think. Occulta, freaking Spios.
So you're talking about like their annual limited releases. I mean, those are every year limited release, and
right.
They obviously don't sell well because there's plenty of them still sitting around.
Well, right. So the Glenmorangie straight general line ended with Nectar Dior, and then at some point in time in, I want to say 2019, for some reason the Cadball estate kind of fell into the general line, and then immediately, like in 2020 or so, went right back to the private reserve line. So in the standard line of Glenmorangie, Nectar d'Or was was quote unquote the top of the line.
Well, I mean, you had the 18 year, the whatever it was.
Yeah, but 18 year is also considered to be
it's a core release.
It's a core release, but it's also a limited edition core release.
I mean, calling that thing limited edition is kind of some bullshit. That thing's pretty widely available anywhere and everywhere you go.
But you're also looking at a bottle that, say, for Nectar d'Or, which is in the 80 to 90 range in general, to the 18 year, which is at 119 to 129.
Well, Nectar d'Or was always $100 until they dropped the age statement.
Right, but right now I can go out and buy a Nectar d'Or for right around $80, between $80 and $90.
Right now you can because they dropped the price.
Depending on where I go, but if I want to find an 18, I'm looking.
We're talking $40 here, man. I mean, we're not talking like a giant leap up here. You're talking a non-age stated whiskey for 80.
Right, but I'm looking at Cadball Estate. Or I'm sorry, I'm looking at 18 year, and I'm looking at 18 year at 119, 129 average.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, it's actually hard to find an 18 year.
Really?
Yeah, really hard. Most everywhere I've gone, because I'm a Glenmorangie freaking fanboy, I guess.
I feel like that's a really easy bottle. At least it used to be easy. I don't buy them anymore, so maybe.
Dude, I can't find an 18 year to save my freaking life.
Really? I'm gonna Google. Let me see if they're. Maybe I'm wrong and they're not available anymore. Let's see here. Glenmorangie 18. Let's see here. So here in Ohio, it's $99.99, $100, and there are within 10 minutes of me, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stores within half an hour with full cases.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. It's hard for you to get. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm literally looking here. There is not a single.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing to me. It's amazing the fact that you're in Ohio and I can't get shit, or I can't find it. And normally it's the opposite way around. It's
completely the opposite. You guys have way more stuff than we get.
Right. But then again, Scott, I mean,
we don't even get it here in Ohio. I mean, forget forget just anything else. Like it doesn't even show up here in the first place 9 times out of 10.
Right. And you're telling me that there's freaking all these stores that have it. So it's like.
Yeah, the Glenmorangie 18 is about as easy to get as whiskey gets here. I'm checking Kentucky now. It's one of my stores. See, I know I can get Glenmorangie 18 in Kentucky, but trying to see if the big store has it or if they've sold out.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't hit up K&L, and I haven't hit up WDLA or any of those other bigger people out here, and maybe I'll hit up freaking see what's going on down at in San Diego down at
all right. So that's my big store.
Keg and Barrel, and see what
their price has gone up to $150 on it. So in Kentucky, what probably happened here in Ohio is they bought so damn much of it they can't sell it out, and they still haven't even replaced it since the tariffs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how Ohio works. And that, so we benefit sometimes. We get some really crazy deal. 2 years after everybody else sold out, we're still sitting on it for the old prices. And we're like, what do you mean it's expensive? I was so rich. And then, you guys get stuff that, and I'm like, what do you mean you're paying that? That's a freaking $9,000 bottle here. Maybe not that bad, but I mean, it feels like it sometimes. I'm like, dude, if you saw.
Well, yeah. It's just like I was saying earlier tonight was this American-born freaking crappy ass, I'm not going to freaking pull any punches, freaking crappy ass whiskey. That for me to buy it right now, I can go to freaking Bevmo or to Total Wine and get it for $9, $10. but they're selling it on Cask Cartel for $170.
Cask Cartel is just, I mean, they are what they say they are. They're criminals.
Oh, there's no doubt that freaking Cask Cartel is a bunch of criminals because I started looking at some other things they have. And I was like, that shit's sitting on the shelf right now, freaking with dust all over it for fucking like $15. But they're selling it at $100 and they're selling it on there for $120 something. Now, I understand what they're shooting at. They're shooting at the Europeans and whatever that for this American, convert it to whatever scale you want to convert it to, you can get this.
Yeah, or I mean, they're also shooting at like, I mean, the reality, we all always go back to this. Distribution in the States sucks. I tell people all the time, I can't buy Eagle Rare for retail unless I use points. Just I don't see it. I don't buy people all the time. Oh, Eagle Rare's just sitting around here. It's right over there. It's next door. I'm like, wish that was the case for me.
Yeah, that's the thing that kills me right now is that people are sitting in places where they can't get something, but other places that don't want it. I mean, obviously, don't get this, don't get it twisted or whatever, but I know states, I know places right now where Eagle Rare is just freaking rampant. Like they can't get rid of it because they're just, nobody wants to buy a freaking Eagle Rare because everybody's got one. But there's other states where there's absolutely jack shit where they can't even get an Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare for me is the only Buffalo Trace like sub $50 bottle that I would actually want to have constantly on my bar.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about. Is that you say? So we're talking. If a standard everyday,
okay, other than foolproof, but that's never going to be available, so I'll go there.
Yeah, standard everyday Eagle Rare, non-store pick, $30 bottle. I mean,
not even $30.
Right. Well, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt at being $30. Okay. Can't be got. You can't get it in. You can't get it in freaking some states for less than like 60, 70, sometimes up to 100 freaking. We're talking secondary prices, right? But in California, I can go buy a case of store picks at $39. And it's like nothing, no big deal. But someone that's in Ohio or someone that's in West Virginia can't get just a standard freaking everyday Eagle Rare 10-year bitchin' ass freaking bottle. For retail, they got to go outside the state and bring it into the state because they don't have it there. To me is completely freaking ridiculous.
The amount of bourbon that gets repatriated to Kentucky always just blows my mind.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing with Kentucky with their how much they charge for shit. I mean, Tennessee the same way, like JD, right? So JD in the state, if I want to buy the Coy Hill, right, I'm looking at $150 to $200 to start, to think about buying it. But outside the state in, say, Kentucky or say even California, when those bottles initially come out, say a store's getting 2 cases, 12 bottles. The first 6 are going to go for retail. The other 6 are going to go for secondary. That's the way that it works in California. So if I go to the right place at the right time, I'm going to get that bottle of Coy Hill for $69 at the most. But the very next day, when those first 6 are gone, that thing becomes a $150 bottle because they only got 2 cases. But in the state of origin, it starts out at $150.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you've got a Total Wines or something, they're going to sell it for retail.
Well, I mean,
retail.
Okay. So
your big store, we're going to do retail.
So, Whiskey Samurai, who lives in Chattanooga, who lives literally within an hour ish of the Jack Daniels distillery.
Mm-hmm.
He is I mean, everybody knows, if anybody knows who Whiskey Samurai is, they know that he's a JD freaking fanatic. He's a collector, right? He's paying. This is a no shitter. He's paying for Jack Daniels 10-year. He paid $125 for the $100 to $125 for the bottle in the state of Tennessee at a regular ass liquor store down the street from the Jack Daniels distillery.
Yeah,
but
the problem is we don't get enough bottles of it. I mean,
but in Kentucky, that same bottle costs $35 in California, that bottle costs $50.
Well, it ain't $35 here in Kentucky, buddy.
Well, that's what it was supposed to retail at. But
the Jack 10, I've seen it. The store that I do most of my shopping at got 4 bottles. So the guy tells me. No one has bought one because they want like 1,600 points for it, and then they want like $55 for the bottle, which I think is what they consider their retail. So
yeah,
and I'm like, you want 1,500 points? He's like, well, we got 4 bottles, and I'm like, that's fair. Like, I can't complain. That's fair. But I'm like, nobody's gonna buy that bottle for 1,500 points. Like, nobody's using those points on a Jack Daniels 10. It's just it's crazy to me. But that's where we're at.
Well, it's just like with me. Okay, I've never been a G. I've had like regular ass everyday Jack Daniels freaking Black Label No. 7, whatever. But I've never had anything else from Jack Daniels ever in my entire life. And then when I got into bourbon and stuff, I just didn't like Jack Daniels and George Dickel to begin with, so I stayed away from them for the longest time. And then everybody's like, "Well, hey, you need to." These single barrels that they've been putting out, the single barrel rye, the single barrel Black Label, the single barrel Gold Label, all this stuff, they're damn good. So I'm like, okay. So I try them. I'm like, damn, they're damn good. And everything else. But then, like, I see something like this Jack Daniels 10 in California dropping at almost $100. I'm like, no. Just because it has an A statement in it doesn't mean it's worth a shit.
I mean, dude, I remember I don't know what it was that drove me to it, but I remember I think I just gotten my first Elijah Craig barrel proof, and I was at Kroger, and they had a liquor store in there, and I'm looking at the freaking Jack Daniels single barrel proof, and I'm like, never seen a barrel proof single barrel before, and I'm like, you know what the hell, I'll grab it. So I picked that up, took it home, tried it. I was like, oh my God. Went back to the store, bought 3 more. I was just positive as soon as anybody else knew about that bottle, it was going to fly off the shelves and nobody'd ever see it again. And I'm still, to this day, shocked that is still on shelves while every other one of these bullshit garbage whiskeys flies off shelves. I'm like, this stuff is so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why overall this, I mean, what my learning curve or whatever you want to call it, and then when taking time off from Whiskey Tube and redoing my palate to start off with the low proof and work my way up again and stuff like that, I've learned so much more about scotches and so much more about freaking whiskeys and so much more about I mean, like I said, tonight was my first night ever freaking drinking wine in my entire life. But I learned a lot from that. I mean, I got this Menage a Trois red blend from here in California or whatever. It's like $9, $10, or whatever it was. But just from drinking that and then drinking whiskey, I learned so much about the taste that you can pick up from the wine just from drinking the whiskey, or from the whiskey from just drinking the wine.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I've got a Malbec to try. I've got a Cabernet Sauvignon to try and stuff like that. But it's like, I never had whiskey. I mean, I never had wine until tonight, but you know what? It opened up my mind a little bit. It actually helped me out with the fact that Yeah, I do need to get a hold of a port and try it ahead of time before I, really dive into these port finished freaking bourbons.
Port's really good, man. I think you'll enjoy that.
My thing was that I got this.
I don't know shit about port, but I know I've had a few and they're pretty darn tasty.
Yeah, I got a hold of this broken. Just came out last week, or within the last couple weeks. Broken Barrel Reserve Oak Series, and it's 115 proof, finished in port barrels, or finished with port staves. Excuse me. They don't finish in barrels. They do all their finishes by stave profile. So they did like when their Mizunura finish was Mizunura staves. This is their port finish with port staves. And I had a taste of it from the neck pour, and just the neck pour, I was like, damn, this is actually pretty good. I mean, this is interesting to me outside the regular standard whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something very interesting. It was actually, and the thickness, the chew, the freaking, I don't know if it has anything to do with the actual freaking port wine, but it's very thick. It's very freaking viscous. It's a very chewy freaking whiskey. And it was like so freaking interesting to me. So then I bought a red. I bought a freaking Sauvignon. It's a port. I wasn't sure about what port to go with, but I got a couple of suggestions.
See that'll focus here. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's a Forget I picked up recently.
And which one's that? I'm sorry, my vision's slightly blurred because I'm fucked up.
Yeah, so finished in tawny port, something or other sherry, and then dark rum casks.
Okay, so that's like, is that like one of the latest releases, or?
Yeah, it's the Bluegrass Trilogy 3. Just came out. I don't recommend it. It's not that good, but definitely some interesting finishing if you haven't done a lot of finished whiskey.
So, but okay, well then, thank you for keep me from spending $189 or $200.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna lie.
Well, mind you, they did 3 of these. It's a trilogy. This is the one that's got everything in it, and they've got one that's like they've got a couple different ones, but anyway.
Okay, back off. Dustin goes back off the fucking screen.
Yeah, I had to put a shirt on for that, man.
Oh, okay. So yeah, JD says Stanley, port is kill to drink. Okay, well.
Yeah, no, port. I've had sherry, and I've had some expensive sherries that were tasty, but I've never had like expensive sherry, but I've had like $20 bottles and $30 bottles, and I mean it's just nothing special for me. But ports have been pretty darn tasty. I've never had any again like epic ports, but just the cheap stuff I've had has been pretty good.
Well, it's my thing is that I was like trying to figure out what like port whiskey, what is that? I mean, port wine, what is that? And then then it was explained to me a little bit earlier tonight where it's a fortified wine. It's fortified usually with clear alcohols. That there are some that take the original, in whiskey would be called the heads off of the wine that they're making, and then go ahead and distill it, and then fortify the wine with that distilled wine, this quote unquote distilled wine that they were, that's their fortification. But I know like there's a lot of fortified wines out there, and I know port. Now I know that port is one of them. I know that ice wine is also one of those, and those are like 2 of the main like big ones that people are trying to do finishes in is port wines or ice wines. And so I'm kind of like just trying to find that port wine that might get me. No, I don't want to get too expensive of a bottle because I don't want to be wasting freaking money, but I want to get something that's decent enough to where it'll introduce me to what port is, or introduce me to what ice wine is,
Sure.
so that when I jump into these other tastings, that I have some sort of a palate or some sort of idea of what's going on. So I don't sit there and buy something I'm not going to. I mean, if I'm not into ice wines, or I'm not into ports, or I'm not into this, I'm not getting that way. I don't spend.
Yeah, but sometimes there's synergy. You know, I always tell people the only reason I ever got into coffee was from coffee beers. Like I had a coffee bourbon barrel aged stout, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I love this!" And then I went back to coffee, and I'm like, you know what? This reminds me of that stout, and suddenly there's just an association, and I like coffee now. Before that, I just didn't like coffee that much.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand that. I mean, we're freaking like myself, who's like a coffee guy.
Mm-hmm.
Once some of these coffee whiskeys start coming out, where the coffee stout, something that was finished in what
Jameson, I think, did like a coffee thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that was really actually not that bad. Freaking,
I've heard it's good actually.
There's a few that they've been talking about that have be coming out here pretty soon that were they were aged in stout barrels, but then they're also aged for like so long a time in freaking these coffee barrels or whatever.
Well, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're finishing like a bourbon barrel stout. That was like a bourbon barrel coffee stout or something. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I mean, I'm willing to try it because I do like coffee and everything else, but like this whole thing with the KBS, the Kentucky breakfast, brunch stouts, that now everybody's doing. I went ahead and bought a 4-pack of KBS.
It's good beer. It's good beer, man.
And I tasted it, and I was like, okay, I understand that this would be really, really good to age a whiskey in. But
I wouldn't age
finish a whiskey in. But is it worth the price they're asking for it? Because some of these,
that's always the problem, right?
I mean, if it's someone that's a trusted finisher, someone that that's always been really good when it comes to what their finishes are, or whatever, that you can trust them to go ahead and say, okay, yeah, this KBS is gonna be good. Compared to somebody that just all of a sudden is coming out of nowhere because everybody else is doing KBSs. We're gonna go ahead and throw something out there and see what happens. Throw it against the wall. It's just trying to mire through who you're gonna trust and who you're not gonna trust. And now they've got this, like Livewire's got. Not Livewire. I'm sorry. Storytime has this KBBS, which is Kentucky, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's one of those Northeast breweries that like everybody like just is literally creaming their pants over because their beer's so good.
Right, which is funny to me because, I mean, I'm 52 years old and I've been pretty much from when I was 19 or 20 years old, the greatest beer in the world was MGD. Everybody praised fucking how Miller Genuine Draft was the greatest beer ever fucking invented. To going through the whole craft beer phase from day one to now and seeing like, oh, wait a second. This trend is dead, so let's try another trend. This trend's dead, so let's move on to another trend.
Hey, I still buy craft beer, man. I'm not
right.
Miller Genuine Draft. I mean, Jesus.
But if you think about it, the original crafts, the original ones that came out as big craft beers, the Hangar 24s, the
Sierra Nevada,
the Sierra Nevadas, those are now considered to be like everyday. Yeah, they're considered to be everyday beers. Like okay, they're lumped in with the Coors Lights and the Miller Lights and all all that bullshit.
And Sam Adams is the largest American brewery that's fully American owned.
Well, as I'm saying is that you're talking about this is a craft. I mean, nobody knows that. I mean, nobody realizes that this is a craft fucking distillery that still does craft beers. But everybody's they've been around for so long, and they've pretty much been in this funnel where they still create a little bit of stuff on the outskirts of it or whatever. But in general, every year I can't wait till Cherry Wheat comes out. I cannot wait till Samuel Adams Cherry Wheat comes out because it's a great fucking beer.
If you say so.
For me, at least. But it's only for. I mean, it used to be a whole season. Now it's like it comes out for a couple weeks, and then next thing you know, you can't find it anywhere. It's
I mean, Great Lakes Oktoberfest is one I always love to pick up, and yeah, it goes fast.
Leinenkugel Summer Shandy is another freaking example of that. It went from like Leinenkugel's all their little specialty stuff. It went from
bought by Miller, so it's probably part of it.
They went kind of mainstream for like one season of beer.
Stream around here, man. I mean, but again, they got bought by Miller.
Yeah, and then I can't right now. I'm like sitting there going, "There's like a specific right now in California. There's like a specific season for it." So it's like before I can get say Summer Shandy into say the end of September, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's like August. It's almost like it seems like August 1st. No more fucking summer for you, bitches.
Well, it's more popular and people are buying it up. I mean, that happens too.
I mean, and it's a good just kickback freaking summer beer. I mean, there's no. I mean,
summer shandy is that shandy even a beer? Isn't that like beer with lemonade or something?
It's lemon beer, but it's still freaking good. But it's something it says something.
I'm not sure if that's actually beer. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's beer, but yeah, there's a lemon aspect to it. But they have. It just kills me that freaking these craft breweries come out, but like Clown Shoes or some of these other ones that come up with these raspberry sours, all these sours and shit. Those aren't fucking beers, motherfuckers. They're just
definitely beers. That's a style of beer.
Yeah, whatever. But
beer, man, it's a wonderful style of beer too. I love sours.
But it just kills.
It's like $40 a bottle now for some of them.
Well, that's the thing too, is right. Now we're talking about. Okay, so
just the other day I was looking at some Belgian sours, and they're like $40 a bottle. It's like Jesus.
Well, okay, let's put this way. What's funny to me is like, okay, so my favorite beer in the entire world is Franziskaner. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So I love freaking Franziskaner. I drink it all day, every day.
Have you had the West Veleteren version?
No, not yet.
Oh, dude, definitely. Go pick one of those up. I mean, there's a reason why that one is considered the better of the two.
But like, I just like the standard ever, not the Spaten, just the regular standard every freaking everyday freaking Weiss beer, freaking Franziskaner.
Hefeweizen is what you're talking about there.
Hefeweizen, and it's great. It tastes great. I love the fucking banana and clove, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
and it's great for me. It's a great beer. But when I first started drinking it, it was for a 12-pack, it's like $20-something for a 12-pack, and then the prices have now kind of evened out to where I can go get a 10-pack or 6-pack for $9, and I can get a freaking a 12-pack for like $16-17, and so that's great and everything else. But then I'm looking at some of these other things like Duvel, some of these other freaking German beers that now I can't buy a fucking 4-pack of Duvel for less than like $26 fucking dollars, and I'm like going,
really?
That beer is shit.
I've never liked that one personally.
That beer is total dog. That beer is total dog shit.
I mean, you gotta like that style, which is an odd German or Belgian style that I don't like. So I'm with you. I don't like it, but I don't want to call it shit either.
I mean, okay, I shouldn't say shit because people do like it, but for me, it's like I'm like,
for
why?
me, I don't want to drink it ever. It's just not enjoyable.
You know, I mean, now again, me being the rube that I am, I like things like Stella Artois. I like things like I like my freaking, like I said, my Franziskaner.
I'd rather have an UGB than that one, but anyway.
And then I like, I mean, there's a few like Hoegaarden and some of these other, some of the Icelandic beers, so that I don't mind drinking, having a couple here and there. Mexican beer wise, I'm not really.
They don't really make beer.
Yeah, I mean, Pacifico is for me is something that's like, well.
They make like 5 or 6 beers that I'm aware of, and they're all, you know, if you're on a hot beach and you just want something cool to drink, nothing wrong with them. But
yeah,
they're a beach beer. They don't make like something you want to sit there and like think about.
Well, I mean, when I'm I'm like in a bar in California and so like that or whatever, I'm not going to order a Pacifico from the draft or whatever. I'm going to order, you know, whatever their local brew Hefeweizen or their local brew freaking. There's this one at this out here. It's a what they consider a Japanese beer. It's called Sakura, and it's the aging of the beer is done in Japanese whiskey casks, and then is finished in what's it called? Cherry blossom, some cherry blossom wine thing or whatever from Japan. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it's called Sakura from this Escape Brewery, and it's a freaking awesome freaking beer. It's my favorite beer from their brewery. But it's not something that's local. That's like something you can just buy retail anywhere else. You got to go there and buy, you know, go buy the 6 packs from them or whatever. But
yeah,
you know, and the thing is that now, like say 5 years ago, even you walk into a beer safe or a beer whatever, a beer room, you get 30, 40, maybe maximus freaking 50 fucking different beers you could choose from. You walk in a beer cave now, you don't even make it past the first 3 feet and you've already hit 50 different beers.
Oh yeah.
And it's ridiculous trying to. I mean, I used to be a huge beer fan. I wanted to learn how to, you know, learn other beers. It's so fucking confusing now. It's worse than freaking whiskey. It's worse than wine. It's worse than anything else I've tried to get into.
So I was into whiskey like right, you know, from a pretty young age, and I switched over to mostly beer in my early mid-20s just because, I mean, beer is affordable. You can try a lot of it, and I had a freaking amazing beer bar not even 2 blocks from my house. So I spent every night after work when I first graduated from college drinking at that bar. And they had, I don't know, they had eight beers on draft that constantly rotated, and they had like 800 or so bottles of beer that you could choose from to take home shop. And so I mean, I have over 800 beer reviews on beeradvocate.com. I have been through a lot of beer. And I go in a beer store now and I don't have a clue what anything I'm seeing is. It's just amazing. And I got sick of beer because it got to where everything was allocated. You had to know somebody to get anything good. Like, it just got so frustrating. And so I was like, fuck this, I'm going back to bourbon.
Right.
Little did I know, 2 years later, bourbon becomes just as fucking bullshit as beer was. And the problem with bourbon is, I don't think, I mean, it takes 10 to 12 years to produce enough new product to meet the new demand. And I don't know if we're even going to see it in 12 years because distilleries are more conservative than breweries are. Breweries know, at worst case, my KBS takes 9 months to make. I can up my production for KBS for next year. distillers, they have to think, well, is there going to be a demand for this in 12 years? It's tough.
Well, sorry. I hate to see Dustin, but I am. I am completely freaking destroyed right now. I am fucking so crazy hammered. It's.
Wow. Buddy, man. Honestly, I got one glass left, and I'm probably passing out as soon as that's done. I kind of hopped on because you said 10 more minutes, and I figured you'd cut me off at 10, and I'd be done.
Yeah, I've literally freaking. This is the most hammered I've ever been on a live stream ever in my entire life. So
I'm glad to have been part of it.
Yeah, so I guess I'm kind of holding it together. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna go ahead and dip out, guys. I'm sorry.
Look at this. Richie Z just dropped in there.
He's been around for a little bit talking with JD Bourbon Approach.
Richie. Richie. My reviews are still on Beer Advocate. I believe the name is Bob Pitts. If you want to look up Bob Pitts on Beer Advocate, you will see my reviews. Don't judge them. They are all written while drinking beer. So I was drunk.
And by the way, the freaking semi-auto cream stout you can still get.
It is delicious.
So, and it is good.
Black Lager was always my favorite Sam Adams regular beer.
All right. Well, but I'm going to go ahead and cut off the stream and head out.
Yep. I'm heading to bed myself.
Everybody, I love you. Thanks for hanging. I mean, 4 people. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know how many people were here at the max, but appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, I'll see you on the other side. Thanks a lot, Dustin, for hanging out. I will talk to everybody later.